Hello again, everybody, and welcome to 4 Star Chicago Sports. This is the Halas Hall Hangover, and yeah, we're a little hungover. The Bears laid an egg in Baltimore. Well, progress isn't linear. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We're going to take you off the ledge, bring you back into reality just a little bit. At least I hope so. We'll figure this out right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars aligned. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago's.
Hello again, everybody. Let's get y'all warm and fuzzy before the Redskins and the Chiefs kick off here in about an hour and 20 minutes. We got a lot of bases to cover. We may take you a little bit into that ball game, but it is what it is. So we got Mikey and Bruce in the house already. What's up, boys? Nice to see you hanging out for a little bit with us. Ant Mass just joined in.
What's going on, guys?
I think Kyle's going to be here shortly. I'm not sure exactly where he is. Dustin has taken the night off. He's got some family business. Hopefully the boys all be back together soon. But until then, we're going to get right into this, man, because I'm just going to be honest. You know, we all came into this season knowing it was going to be a bumpy ride, man. And back-to-back weeks, some questionable decisions, maybe a little hesitation that wasn't there during, most of this little 4-game winning streak, but it's part of the process, man. The truth is, this is how you build a franchise quarterback, man. You take your lumps early and don't repeat bad habits, so you don't repeat bad habits later, right? So the coaching staff, which we've talked about for over a year, and continue through, or since Ben Johnson is hired. I guess I shouldn't say a year, but since Ben Johnson's been hired, we're going to strip Caleb down to the studs, rebuild him, footworks, read, timing, decision making, all of it. Look around the league, guys. It took Sam Darnold, probably never going to be a Hall of Famer, but a pretty good serviceable quarterback in the NFL, making waves out there in Seattle like he did in Minnesota last year. You got Daniel Jones, took a couple of years in New York, left New York. Now he's lighting up the world in Indianapolis. Josh Allen is a prime example, because if you go look at Josh Allen's second year in the league, and go look at some of those press and media clippings that were coming out of Buffalo, they were lynching this dude. They were like, get this guy the hell out of here. He sucks. Now, here's the numbers right here of Caleb Williams and Josh Allen through the 7 games into their second season. Pretty damn close, pretty damn similar. I'd say Caleb Williams is looking just a tad bit better than Josh Allen was. Now, you guys all know my infinity and how much I love Josh Allen. I've never been enamored or think Josh Allen is the greatest thrower of the football, okay? I think he's a really good quarterback, a good decision maker, puts his team on his back, and can help his team win. I think he's one of the most important players to any player on any football team in the league. Is that fair enough to say? Would that be fair enough? Okay. So I just the last 3 weeks we've been on this ride, and it's like, here we go. Now we're taking the step back. And because we laid an egg in Baltimore and it wasn't pretty against the Saints, even though they found a way to win, the sky's falling, the world is over. Let's pull it back in. Let's reel it in. We said we were going to give it a year. We knew this ride was going to be bumpy. So my advice is, let's strap on those safety belts and enjoy this bumpy ride, because that's exactly what it's going to be. What are your thoughts, Brando?
Well, in regards to Caleb, I mean, he doesn't look good. He looks bad. And people keep talking about the accuracy. Like, I always hear accuracy is the first thing I hear in criticizing Caleb. I don't even think there's much of an accuracy problem, man. And people are going to think I'm crazy for that. I think it's a fucking timing problem. I think he is not playing with anticipation. He's not playing in the timing of Ben Johnson's offense. So he's throwing to places where people were or aren't yet. And I don't think it's like Caleb's inaccurate. I think he's showing that he's really bad right now at trying to play with anticipation, at trying to play on timing. I think he's just struggling hard here, guys.
Sure.
But another thing that I want to say, Sean, you made some comparisons to guys, and rightfully so, but you make it like Sam Darnold and, the Geno Smith guy. See, those journeymen, man, those guys had to find a system that fit them. I mean that. They had to
Correct.
eventually end up in a place where system got. I want to think more in terms of guys like Josh Allen is a great example because he grew in the system that he was drafted to. And he had the
Mhm.
same guys till they fired offensive coordinators and lost Abel, but he grew so well that it didn't
Very
matter who the
similar
next.
system.
Yeah, it didn't matter who the next guy was anyways. Josh Allen he had far past his peak, his peak, you know what I mean? But then a guy like Baker Mayfield, man.
Yeah.
Multiple teams with this guy, first overall pick, were like willing to discard him. And he never really like his stats weren't phenomenal, but they were never. It's very similar to Caleb. You're talking about 3,700 yards, low 20s touchdowns, very high interceptions. So like, but look at him now. So yeah, I mean, I want to remind people that like a season and a half, and the half being with a new coach, I would try to slow your roll on that a little bit. Now, I do want to say this, man. His awareness is terrible. I mean, there's just things that scare me about Caleb Williams. I've never seen a quarterback lose yards, a timeout, and a down in one stupid pass. I've never seen that before in my life, man. I mean, you have got to be aware of things like that. And then the awareness to, there's points in games, Sean, when you're desperate for downfield offense where you're going to take some shots. You're going to throw the ball. You're going to throw the ball ill-advised, and you're going to put it in harm's way. You don't do it on your own fucking 5. Like, that was the worst place. The only time in that game that Caleb could not have turned the ball over is where he did it. And Kyle texted, he just lost the game. And he absolutely did. 100%. You just gifted them a touchdown. Yeah, they had to run a play or two after that, but you gifted them a touchdown. I will say this, man. The defense, I thought, the 30 points don't really reflect how well this defense played. They played pretty good.
I agree.
They worked their ass off. They're really short-handed, man, and the guys that are out there are giving it all they got. And you can see, man, a lot of these Bears players are playing almost 100% of the snaps on the defensive side of the football. I mean,
Yeah,
outside of
especially
this,
yesterday, losing
yeah,
multiple
you saw
players.
Ford was out there for like 3/4 of the game, man. And that guy never plays, so that's
Yeah.
tough. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I do think Ben Johnson's red zone scheming is terrible. I'm not even going to say like there's something off. It's just bad. There's nothing good about it. He doesn't coach the same way. He does. Like, I know the field gets shorter, but he kind of changes the way he approaches things once he's in the red zone. It's not as aggressive. He's very conservative when he's in the red zone as a coach, and I don't understand it. But yeah, Bears gave up a game they should have won, Sean, and the pass rush. So the Caleb Williams thing is your big thing, but the pass rush, man. Booker should have been playing yesterday. These guys aren't good. I don't listen. I am not personally attacking either one of you. This is not an attack on you. It's just the way Montez Sweat is not good enough. Dio is awful. That guy is
That was
awful.
awful.
I never want to see that guy once the play gets behind him, just stares and watches it down. He does not pursue plays. Once it's gotten beyond him, he's done. He's checked out. So Benedette and Dio, man, 2 players I'm very concerned about. But yeah, I don't know. The pass rush is just not. You got a backup quarterback playing against you. You have got to get some pressure on a backup quarterback, man. Every defensive coordinator's approach would be the same against Tyler Huntley. Let's get him. Just go get him. And they can't. They just can't get home. So
Whether this was wrong or not, the Bears were only credited with 3 pressures in yesterday's ball game as well. So
on a backup, and they got the ball out of his hands quickly, man. But you still got to get back there, dude. You got to disrupt this guy's comfortability. He's a backup quarterback. He doesn't play. He's been on the fucking practice squad. You know what I mean? I don't know. So, Kyle, how'd you feel about yesterday's heartbreak?
I mean, overall, in general, not good, man. I mean, you guys, it's the Bears. There's no excuses for this one. The Bears are playing Tyler Huntley and the Baltimore Ravens, and a banged up. They're still pretty banged up on defense. I know they got some of their key guys back, but it's not a good football team. If you look at the metrics, they're statistically last in almost every category in defense. And the Bears look lost. I mean, they looked like they couldn't get a first down or save their lives. And then those two huge intentional grounding penalties on Caleb Williams were massively detrimental to this team. The interception was unacceptable. If you watch that play over, Caleb actually had 2 different checkdowns he'd have gone to, and he decided to throw that ball to DJ. And what's even more concerning is after the game, he comes out and says, I made the right read. I just
Thank
threw
you,
it away.
Erica.
No, you didn't make the right read, Caleb. You didn't. You did not make the right read. That
Yeah,
was not
well,
the right
that's
read. That
bad.
ball should never
When
been thrown
Ben
back.
Johnson verbally said there was two other I think he said there was two other guys he could have looked at.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing
That's
now is
contradicting Caleb's words, man. That's not good.
it came out of Ben Johnson's mouth himself. He said, "You guys, we're playing pretty much in line with the way we've played the last 4 games. The difference is too many penalties and a better opponent." That's what happened on Sunday. The Bears are playing the same way they did against the Saints, but the Saints suck. So the Bears beat them, and the Bears didn't have any takeaways. So they're playing exactly the same way they have the last 4
They
games.
they plateaued. They're this team
What's
that gets to the red zone and can't score.
What's concerning for the Bears is it should be getting better. Like Ben Johnson said, we've played exactly the same way in line with the last 4 games. So Ben, you should be getting better every game. Like look at the Patriots and their new coaching staff. Look at the Jets found their first win. Look at the Saints. They're getting more competitive. I mean, like all these teams with new head coaches with less talent than the Chicago Bears seem to be getting better every week. And somehow the Bears just look like they're just kind of staying level and staying the same. Now, granted, in the Bears' defense, you guys, I don't think another team in the NFL outside of the Niners has dealt with more injuries than the Chicago Bears. I mean, this is insane. You're now missing 4 defensive linemen. You're 6 starting cornerbacks, right? There's Zay Frazier, Terrell Smith, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson. I mean, there's not many teams in the NFL, not many defenses in particular could survive this, but you'd like to see some growth. And Sean and I talked about this on Wednesday, man. Growth, not all growth is linear. You don't expect it to go like this, but you'd like to see trajectory go in a better direction, and it's just not happening. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things, guys. I think Caleb Williams is inconsistent. There's no doubt about that. And anybody who's a Bears fan, at this point, you cannot deny that. Right now, Caleb Williams has drives, certain scenarios, maybe hurry up, 2-minute warning, where he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And he has other throws and other drives where you're like, who is this guy? This is not the guy I watched last week or the guy I watched last drive. And then on top of that, guys, I don't know if you guys listened to Ben Johnson's presser, but he came out and said, you guys, I've told the offensive line they need to stop committing penalties. Now it's on them. Now it's on the leaders of the team to make sure this stuff stops because we've preached it over and over and over and over
was
and
not
over
a penalty.
again.
I want to make sure that's clear. Tooney did not get a penalty. That was a bullshit call.
I think what we're seeing is this. We just have a group of guys here in Chicago that are it's kind of just slow learners. I mean, this is what's happening. I mean, it seems like other teams in the NFL and other players in the NFL have picked up their new schemes or offenses or coaching staff, and they've taken it and ran with it. The Bears, there's just a lot of bumps in the road. It looks like to me.
Well, I'm going to say this because I kind of texted you about this, Kyle, and Erica kind of just said it here in the chat. If you look at the all 22s, man, I just disagree a little bit with you guys, man. I really watch the field, watch what he's saying on those all 22s, and it's exactly what I brought up on Wednesday. The separation isn't there. He doesn't have anyone to throw to. I'm not saying every single time because there was throws that he missed in that game.
Yeah, the interception. Kyle Malone guy was wide open.
Well,
wide
the interception, yes, I understand these things. But at the same time, young quarterbacks make mistakes. And I think the pressure is amped up so much because we see Drake May and Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels excelling. And we're like, whoa. This guy was picked 101. He should be better than all these guys. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. But if all these guys in that class were struggling, I don't think the pressure would be on Caleb as much. But now we're seeing Drake May throw beautiful 40-yard touchdown passes. We're watching Bo Nix lead a second consecutive winning season for the Broncos. And, when we talk about, Kyle, when you talk about talent on this team, is there really talent on this team?
No. Yeah, I wanted to say that.
I've questioned this for a while.
I think you're starting to see that there's not.
Yeah, but guys, look at that. I mean, it's so like Vernon, you and Justin have been nothing but rah gaga over Roma Dunze. Sean loved DJ Moore. Sean loved the Luther Burden pick. He still believes he's the best receiver on this team. Vernon, Dustin, you guys said Colston Loveland is going to be in the conversation with Tyler Warren at some point. We went and got the center that we all wanted, Sean, yourself included, with Drew Gallman. Joe Tooney's the best left guard in football. Sean knows Darnell Wright's a top 5 tackle. I mean, how much talent can you guys? You can't pay everybody in the field $100 million a year. There's a salary.
No, you can't. And the guys there's
going to be players in the field that you're going to have to work around.
And the guys that you do, need to be really talented
But I
players.
mean, how long, you guys? How
And
long?
Montez Sweat is
Caleb, then?
not a
It's
very
on you guys
talented
now.
player.
It's on
We're
you guys.
I
seeing this,
disagree with
guys.
that.
You got Joe
We're
Tooney, you
seeing
got Drew
this now.
Dahlman, you got Darnell Wright, you got DJ Moore, you got Roma Dunze, you got Luther
Well,
Burden, you got
here's
Coastal.
the problem.
When do you go? When do you go? Hey,
Hold on. Here's the problem. And I've said this a million times. Roman Dunze is good. He's
I
not
think the
elite.
offense is great. I'm with you, Kyle. I think the offense is loaded with talent. I do.
The offense is not loaded with talent.
I think the defense is not.
Here, let me ask you this. Go over the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL right now and give me one that Roma Dunze is better than. You're not going to find him because he's not. He's not a top 20 wide receiver. He shouldn't have been a top 10 pick. The guy cannot catch contested balls. He cannot catch balls in traffic. He drops them when they're in his hands. These are facts. Go watch the all-22s of this game. His catches were no. Listen, his catches in this game, like they have been in the past, were because either broken coverage or he was schemed open. I watched the all-22. It was 10 minutes. I watched it 3 times today. I spent 30 minutes watching this. Every single one of Rome's catches was a curl route where he was schemed away from the defender, and he had a nice little pocket to catch the ball. When this guy's in traffic, what does he do? He drops the ball. What was he touted as, Brandon? You told us the number 1 contested catch guy in NCAA
well, he
football.
was, yeah.
And guess what? He can't do in the NFL.
Yeah, but so Sean, you're placing the blame on Dunze because you just said it yourself.
I'm placing the blame solely right now on Ben Johnson.
Well, that's just
I'm placing it on Ben Johnson. Hold on, because I want you guys to feed off of this. This offense should have been run through DJ Moore to start this season. And when you had yesterday, what you had on that field was a one-read quarterback. And that's what I thought watching the game until I went and watched those all 22s. There's not another wide receiver open on that goddamn field when he's dropping back. And everyone's like, oh, well, this and this and that. No, go watch the top of the screen. Watch the field. Watch, there's nobody for this guy to go to. I'm not saying
they are
Caleb
good
Williams
players,
is
man.
What about DJ?
So that's
DJ
Ben
open?
Johnson.
DJ, nobody has been open.
Yeah,
Nobody.
so
Ben-
you
that's
can't really
on Ben
run the offense
Johnson
through DJ
because
either.
they're good players.
You guys,
No,
I think you were
because
doing
DJ
it.
Moore should be playing out of the slot right now.
You guys, I
he
think
should
you
be
were-
playing the Amon-Ra St. Brown role in this offense. It would help every player on this offense. And while I'm on Ben Johnson, why'd you go away from the running game? You
Yeah, I was
shouldn't
going
have
to say,
done that.
Sean, they should be running the offense through DeAndre Swift because every time they do, they look pretty goddamn good. I think the problem is DeAndre Swift's banged up, and they're just not telling anybody. I think that's why he's on the injury report every single week with a groin and a hamstring. I think DeAndre Swift's hurting. I think you could see it in his running a little bit. He looked like he was coming up limp sometimes, and they just can't continue to put him on the field. But right now, they need a DeAndre Swift on the field every single play, and they just can't do it. They don't. He's not there. He's not there, and it's unfortunate because when DeAndre Swift is on the field, the Bears look like a different football team. And I agree with you, Sean. Kyle Monunga is not special. He's not. He's a go get me 2 yards kind of guy. That's what he is. Go get 2 yards, Kyle. He's not going to run a 50-yard touchdown on the sideline on a catch like he did, like DeAndre Swift did 2 weeks ago. He's not going to do that. So if DeAndre Swift continues to play hurt, the Bears need to seriously consider trading for a guy like Breece Hall. The Bears need to add talent. If DeAndre Swift can't be on the field for more than 10 snaps a game, they need to go add talent at the running back room because right now the Bears offense is ran through the run game. That's it. And they have not perfected the passing game in any way, shape, or form. I think Ben Johnson is learning how to be head coach right now. I think Caleb Williams is learning how to be quarterback right now. I think the offensive line is learning how to play with each other without committing penalties, which is obviously going backwards. They had 11, I think, on Sunday. I think the receivers are still kind of lost in where their specific roles should be. Sean, like you said, is DJ Moore better in the slot? Is he better outside? Is Colston Loveland really as good as we think he is? He's pretty much Cole Kmet, but longer and slender? I don't think any of these questions have been answered, and it's what we're going into week 8. I mean, what? I mean, these questions need to start being answered, guys.
For me, and where I'm at is as they figure this out, I want to see, as Lovie Smith used to break this down into quarters of the season, 4 and then 4 and then 4. I want to see where they are the last 4 weeks of the season. The last 4 games, Cleveland, Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit. That's when they should be playing their best football. I'm not giving up on any of this, but if we can hand out flowers, we can hand out criticism. And I thought yesterday was Ben Johnson's worst coach game
I agree
Listen,
100%.
I want to respond
not
to
a
the.
question.
I want to
Sean,
respond to the.
particularly real quick, Brennan, at the end of the game, and it didn't matter because the game was over. But when the Bears were trying to punch that ball in from the 1 yard, the worst play calling I've seen for the Bears in a very long time. Very long time. That all three of those plays were terrible, guys. Terrible play.
In regards to the talent thing, I want to make myself clear. I think this team is loaded with talent on offense, Sean. I do. I think the defensive side of the football is bare, and without the starters, but I do think that Roma Dunze, I mean, he had 7 receptions for 114 yards on 10 targets. I listen, I don't ever watch a game the Bears play, win or lose, and think after it's over, and this receiver thing is a problem. The Bears really need to find some other, these receivers are not the guys. I think the talent you have at receivers is what you should move forward with in the future. I also like DeAndre Swift. I do. I think Kyle's right. Guys, you ran the ball 23 times to 38 passes, and you ran the ball at over 4 yards per carry with DeAndre Swift.
And you know why that was?
What the hell are you doing?
You know why that was? Because Kyle Monungai's not that good.
Well, he only got 7 carries.
And Mikey, this was a good call for you on Sunday's show when Mikey said that DeAndre Swift might be a little bit more injured than we think. I think he was a little bit more injured than we think.
That's obvious.
And you're not handing the keys to the engine off to Kyle Monungai. I think we learned that this Sunday in Baltimore.
Well, I mean, if DeAndre Swift can't go, man, you got to run the ball. If you lose your starting running back, you cannot abandon the run. If that's your approach as a coach, that's we just saw. It's a terrible approach.
They don't. This is a deficiency on the team.
Yeah, but man, you're talking about so Kyle Monungai had 7 carries for 24 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. Who's to say Kyle Monungai doesn't increase his yards per carry if he's actually given some sort of a rhythm on, like if he's given after DeAndre Swift says, you know what, guys, my groin hurts. I can't do it. I'm done. I'm out. Because there was a lot of Monungai late in the game. You didn't see Swift too much. Why not give Monungai 15 to 20 carries and see what the guys, he ran for almost 100 yards a week ago. Why not give the guy 15 to 20 carries, see what the guy's got? Because you're running the ball at 4 yards per carry, and Caleb Williams is disastrous. Guys, this is what I want. I did want to say this. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to throw too much shade at Ben Johnson because Caleb Williams is responsible for Caleb Williams. But he looked the worst he ever looked.
Yeah, it was a bad game for him.
He's regressed.
I don't think he's regressed.
He looked good a couple weeks ago. I thought between the Vegas and the Dallas game, he looked good. I did. I thought he was a guy who was like molding himself into a future franchise quarterback. And the guy I watched yesterday was Justin Fields, Mitch Trubisky, whatever, Craig Krenzel. You throw the fucking name at it, man. That's who that was. That's who I watched yesterday. Because not only are you throwing a pick in the worst place on the field, man, and a terrible throw. I mean, it was never near anyone. And
not only
did you embrace like 4 sacks. I mean, the guy just laid down. Somebody went at his feet, and he saw the rush, and I thought he could have jumped, and he just kind of just gets clipped and falls. And I'm sure he's exhausted, man. But the thing that I said earlier, Kyle, I don't know if you were on the show yet, the penalties where you're throwing intentional groundings that are costing you downs and fucking timeouts, man. I mean, like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, Caleb.
But again,
you have got to be more. You've got to know what you're doing in that situation. There is no excuse. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, well, he was rushed or this. No, you cannot get an intentional grounding that's going to cost you a timeout, a loss of a down, and the 22 yards you fell back.
I'm with you, AC.
You can't do it.
I mean, the intentional grounding is not acceptable, guys. It's too easy in the NFL to throw the ball out of bounds. It's just too easy to get the ball to the line of scrimmage and throw it out of bounds. It's too easy. Like Caleb knocked the Bears out of field goal range at the end of the first half there when he took that intentional grounding that obviously became a much longer field goal. We know Cairo Santos does not have the strongest leg in the NFL.
Not only
Sean and I looked at each other. We knew he wasn't going to make that kick. We knew he wasn't going to make that kick.
Not only did Caleb do that, when he rushed for the 22 yards, he could have gone out of bounds. I mean, without a doubt. Am I wrong? Yeah. He could have made a 19-yard run out of bounds instead of a 22-yard run and let the clock keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, he's making
just not aware, man. He's not aware.
He's making rookie mistakes.
Yeah, these are mistakes we expect him to make because he's learning a new offense.
He needs to be aware.
This is basically his rookie season, guys. That's basically what it is. But what you're seeing now, and Sean's right as well. I mean, what you're seeing now is this team is not deep on defense. They're not. and they lost their entire secondary, and you saw what the backups look like with wide open Zay Flowers, wide open tight ends all over the place. You see what it looks like with backups playing in the game. And right now, the Bears need to strongly consider what they're going to do. This offseason is going to be very, very, very interesting for the Chicago Bears, because now you need to be starting having conversations about replacing guys like Kyler Gordon. I mean, because if you can't rely on him to be on the field, it doesn't matter how good he is.
I think you need to find better backups.
Yeah, and you know what, I think Nahshon Wright deserves to be.
He's developing.
The rest of
Wright
them.
Nahshon Wright is a tier 2 player.
Sean, I listened to after the game presser or today's pressers, and I listened to Drew Dahlman. And the second Nick McLeod came on the screen, I'm like, yep, no thanks, I'm good.
Guys, I'm
not listening to that guy.
This guy ever. I don't. You guys, in all the podcasts we've done, I've never brought it up. You guys have talked about it amongst yourselves. That penalty's got to be called, man. That's too isolated. That's open field. There's nobody impeding the vision to that. I'm talking about DeAndre Hopkins grabbing the face mask of his defender in order to catch a pass. That was nowhere. Nobody was near that. It wasn't in a bunch of players. You know what I mean? This is open field. This is not a penalty that you can miss. There's no excuse for it, man.
I don't know how this was missed.
It's not like, oh, it happened in the crowd. It's not like the ones that the tush push penalties that keep getting missed. Like we can't see it. That's way too blatant.
Mikey, I don't even think Nahshon's there too. I just think he's a good backup. So it's like you lose all three of your starting corners, a la Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, and Jalen Johnson. I think Nahshon Wright's not a terrible guy to have come off the bench.
Nick McLeod,
none of them should be starting. I don't think Nahshon Wright should be starting. I don't think Nick McLeod should be starting. I don't think Josh Blackwell should be starting. What I'm saying is it's not the worst thing in the world to have a guy like Nahshon Wright on the bench if you do lose Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon. And guys, let's face it. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson and Jalen Johnson aren't like super injury-prone players. These aren't guys who get hurt every week. These guys have been pretty healthy. The one that's concerning to me is Kyler Gordon. I mean, this guy is, because the conversation needs to be had, but this is a very Mike Brown type vibe I'm getting from Kyler Gordon. He seems the kind of guy who's healthy for 2 weeks, then hurt for 2 weeks, healthy for 2 weeks, hurt for 2. He just seems like a very gingerly type of guy who probably doesn't belong in the NFL. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he'll be healthy for the next 3 years in a row, but this is certainly something the Bears need to start considering and having.
He's doing backflips out of the tunnel. That's fucking annoying.
There is a pattern forming.
But Kyle, you keep forgetting Terrell Smith. That's huge. Terrell Smith is huge.
Let Sean give his
I was going to say, after yesterday, it's game 12, and it looks like if he's going to miss 4 more, it's going to be at games. I think it's 16 games he's missed in his career. It is a Mike Brown pattern, but when you drafted this kid and you saw the potential, could you couldn't say, oh, this guy's going to miss.
No, absolutely
games.
not. Now, contract extension is a different story. The contract extension is a different story.
Yeah, that's where the conversation.
Yeah, well, he got hurt early last year and then went on. He should have been an All-Pro last year. I mean, if you look at the numbers based on the people who were All-Pros, Kyler Gordon should have been.
Yeah, it's never the conversation will never be about the talent of Kyler Gordon.
If you Google the best nickels in the NFL, they give you 5 names. Kyler Gordon's like 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, he's awesome.
When he's on the field, nobody questions his ability.
It's heartbreaking.
But he's never on the field.
And listen, the defense has held their own for how many injuries they've sustained, guys. I mean, this defense has not been healthy once this season. From day one, this team has been absolutely decimated by injuries. You're talking about week 1 missing Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Austin Booker. I mean, they have not had a healthy week, and they have still kind of held their own. Now, I'm not saying they're one of the top defenses in the NFL, but for having a bunch of backups and still allowing,
they played really well yesterday.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, this is what you
they
expect
played
when
a
you lose
backup
3
quarterback.
linemen and 5 cornerbacks. This is what you expect. You expect them to allow 24, 25 points a game. The thing that's concerning for me is the Bears put all of their assets in the offseason into the offense, and the offense is not getting better. It's not getting better. Now, listen, obviously they found something in DeAndre Swift. When you run the game plan through DeAndre Swift, the Bears look like a much better team. And when DeAndre Swift was on the field yesterday, guys, he looked great. But if he can't be on the field due to this groin injury or this hamstring, you're going to need something better than Common on guy, because he's not a game wrecker. You need a game wrecker. The Bears right now, they're not able to get the ball into the hands of their game wrecker receivers, so they need to go get a running back. This is going to have to be like a Breece Hall, unless they're just going to forfeit this season. I mean, either DeAndre Swift needs to get healthy, or they need to go get a Breece Hall. And I know somebody put in the chat here, bring up Britton Brown. Guys, that is not the answer. That's not the answer. Britton Brown is not the answer. He might help, He might help a little bit, just like Roshan could if he was healthy, but they're not going to change the
Yeah,
trajectory of
but
the Bears
no,
season.
they're not doing that, man. If they're anything, they'll give like a 6th-round pick for Jerome Ford from the fucking
Dude, they
Browns.
have a 5th round. They're
Watch.
asking a 5th round pick right now for Brees Hall. Like,
Really?
kick the tires on that.
On a rookie contract.
That's
On
what
a
they're
rookie
asking?
contract, so you don't have to pay him shit. You're going to get a
That has
5th-round pick.
been
They have
reported
like
officially.
$100,000 for the rest of the year.
The Jets reporter came out the other day, said they're asking a 2 for Quinlan Williams, who the Niners are kicking the tires on. They're asking a 5 for Brees Hall. What was
Why is that not done with some other team already? A lot of teams could use a Brees Hall. Why is that not fucking done?
I don't know why the Bears aren't calling him.
Well, Bernie, first of all, Bernie, you
There's
eliminate all the
15 teams in the NFL that could upgrade their running back position.
But then you eliminate
to
all
a
the
Brees
teams.
Hall.
Then you eliminate all the teams that aren't playoff contenders. They're not going to be trading future draft capital for guys when they don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So you're talking about 6-7 teams.
Well, unless they're
if
they're a young team and they're not going to make the playoffs, they'll get them.
Well, but they could just draft the running back next year, and then you talk about. Then you have to talk about the Jets. They're going to try to push this thing as far back as they possibly can to the trade deadline because they want the bidding war to begin. Like, this is not going to be. They're not going to do this until they have 3 or 4 teams who are interested, and they all start to try to outbid each other. This is exactly what happened with Montez Sweat. The Bears had a deal in place to give the Falcons or to give the Commanders a 3rd-round pick, and then all of a sudden the Packers get involved and they're like, "No, we want Montez Sweat too." And then the Bears got finagled.
Yeah, but Kyle, you say we're taking offers. We're taking offers. When you want to see the people outbid each other, you say we're taking offers. You don't list a price.
As a matter of fact,
this came from a Jets reporter last week. So whether it's true or not, this is what he reported.
Well, I would have called and said, "Hey, I'll do it. I'll do it."
He works for
I'll do it
or whatever.
I'll do it. I'll send you a 5th and a 7th because I'm a nice guy.
I mean, Sean, you and I talked about this before the season, and maybe even a couple weeks into the season. Brees Hall is greater than DeAndre.
I love Brees Hall.
I'm sorry, but he's better than DeAndre.
I think
DeAndre Swift is a very particular set of skills. Brees Hall does everything.
I think the two would be really special together.
Brees Hall and DeAndre Swift changed this offense.
Well, and if you're talking about scratching off another need, scratching it off the list for a 5th-round pick, like, oh, we don't need a running back next year in the draft. We just got Brees Hall for a 5th-round pick. I would be seriously interested in that if I was the Chicago Bears. Seriously, could be considering this trade if I'm the Chicago.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get. I mean, you might have already won too many games to get Jeremiah Love.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Bears fans keep saying,
"Let's trade for that you've won.
Let's trade for Max Crosby. Let's trade for you guys." The Bears have $12 million in cap space. They can't afford Max Crosby. They can't afford Trey Hendrickson. You know what they could afford? Brees Hall on his rookie contract. And yes, James, he is a free agent next season. But if you finagle some money, make some cuts, do some rosters construction, you could probably find a way to extend Brees Hall and push all of his money into the back of his contract. Right now, like guys like Myles Garrett, these people keep saying we should trade for this guy, Max Crosby. Those guys, their contract is set. Their contracts are set.
Well, and Brees Hall certainly ain't getting the biggest contract in the NFL at the position.
I'm looking at it right now, and they're saying that the Jets have received calls on Brees Hall from the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Cardinals. This was just released. I'm trying to find the guy. He goes, I can't believe they couldn't get a hold on. Oh, yeah. That was the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. The fact that we need a quarterback and Roger McCreary just got traded for a 5th-round pick is pretty crazy that Brian Poles wasn't picking up the phone, as desperate as we are with these wide receivers that we have left. And we get McCreary at least in here against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins next week. That's sad because he got traded to the Rams for a conditional 5th and 6th-round pick swap.
It sounded like Stevenson might be back. So Nahshon Wright and Stevenson would be your. I mean, I don't
trust either.
I think they think they're okay. And yeah, I was right. By the way,
I don't trust that.
I don't like. Listen, you guys know I don't like saying this, but I was correct about how their approach in filling the gap for Kyler Gordon, which was pretty good and be pretty obvious, I think, to most of us. Noah Sewell, T.J. Edwards, and Tremaine Edmonds played on the field together a lot. That's how they're going to attack the Kyler Gordon absence. It looks.
I don't know. Guys, this just seems like one of those. Hey, what's up, David? How you doing, man? It just seems like one of those seasons where it just kind of feels like everything's going wrong for the Bears right now, guys. I mean, even for instance, guys, like they thought they had a healthy receiving core, right? So they didn't bring Jahdae Walker up from the practice squad, and here you are, and Luther Burden gets hurt, and Zacchaeus gets hurt, and now we're throwing deep balls to Devin Duvernay. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah,
it's not okay.
Well,
Devin Duvernay cannot be your deep ball threat.
It was very unfortunate. Luther Burden.
Well, Devin Duvernay actually beat his guy, and Caleb big time missed him, man. I mean, he was
you overthrew a
open. He was open.
Really quick, Connor Hughes, NFL reporter for SN New York TV covering the Jets and Giants, tweeted out that the Jets are interested in Quinlan Williams for a second-round pick, Jermaine Johnson a third-round pick, Will McDonald a third round that could turn into a second, Brees Hall a fifth-round pick, Michael Carter and Quincy Williams day 3 picks. So, I mean, I'm going to consider him. He works for SN New York, which is a huge network in New York, and he reports on the Jets and the Giants.
God, the fucking Chiefs are gonna get Brees Hall, man.
And you know what? There goes the Bashard Smith.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of teams.
No,
in the
I think that means
AFC.
there goes Pacheco's gone.
I don't know a
If that
lot of
happens
teams
to-
in the AFC who are going to be willing to trade with the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. I mean, the Chiefs have
That
just beat
could
the
be
shit out of
true.
that league for so long. I think a lot of them are kind of trying to steer away from that, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Chiefs do land some running back somewhere. But I mean, guys, let's get back to the game here. I mean,
and
second time in the last 5 years you've lost to a backup quarterback against the Ravens. That's not acceptable. I mean, it's not acceptable. Listen, that's nothing against that team. We knew that, Sean. We talked about this how many times. We knew that team was going to play desperate. We knew they were going to play like if they were backed into a corner. If they lost one more game, they're out of the playoff run. That's exactly how they played. Their defense played much better than it has all season. Their offense looked like they were fine in tune. They looked like they were a much better offense than they did last week. The Bears just didn't have the same physicality they did against the Saints. They weren't constantly in the backfield of the quarterback's phase. And the Ravens played an almost seamless game, and the Bears had 11 penalties. You can't, if you don't take the ball away, you can't have 11 penalties and win a football game. It's not going to happen. And that's what the Bears they kind of fell apart. And now we're going to really start to see what Ben Johnson's made of, guys, because it's time to corral that. If you cannot go on a 5, 6, 7 game losing streak, and the next week's opponent is no easier. And listen, I know people will say, well, there's no Joe Burrow, it's Joe Flacco. It doesn't matter. They still have some of the best weapons in the NFL on that team. And this could get out of control really quickly for the Bears. So Ben Johnson needs to hone it in, man. He needs to hone it in. And these penalties have to stop. They have to stop. And it would be nice for the Bears to throw, or for the NFL to throw a Bears a home game every once in a while. That would also help benefit the Bears in some way, shape, or form.
And let's just say this, and this is unfortunate, but let's be real, guys. Bad losses happen to every team, every single one of them. You know, we knew we were gonna have a little turbulence. It does suck that we lost to a backup quarterback, but Kyle, I agree with you 100% that this is one thing that the Bears have to clean up, because you have 72 penalties through 7 weeks right now, 36 penalties by different players. Yesterday, you had 4 on offense, 4 on defense, 3 on special teams. And let's not forget how they changed the field. That perfect coffin corner kick by Torrey Taylor that put him on the 1 yard line, and DeMarco Jackson, I can't remember if he was offsides or.
No, he wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, whatever he was. But this is the dumb shit that has to stop. And Kyle, I know that you want to get into this, so I'm going to leave this door wide open for you right here. Let's be honest right now. Special teams has had a rough day for 7 straight weeks, man. Coverage is spotty. The return game isn't really giving us much. Their overall execution is sloppy. It's just special teams, and all 3 phases didn't look great yesterday. They looked okay, but special teams again was a dead horse, man. On the field,
Sean, you know I didn't like the Richard Hightower signing when they made it. I didn't. Good teams don't get rid of talent. The 49ers thought Richard Hightower was not good enough to be their special teams coach. And then you talk about Burning, like you just said, retaining. It felt like once Ben Johnson got this coaching staff built, he was like, all right, let's get this thing on the road. We'll just keep our special teams. Like, it was almost like an afterthought. Richard Hightower is not a good football coach. The Bears special teams is not good. You cannot make the mistakes that the Bears are making. Jackson not lining up on the line of scrimmage. That's not, dude, all you have to do in the NFL is look at the ref and he gives you a thumbs up. Yeah, you guys are good.
Our left tackles
That's all you have to do. Like, this is getting to a point now where, and you know what sucks about it, guys, is we talk about the interviews and the pressers that Matt Eberflus used to have here, and they would ask him questions like, all right, no, we understand you're making the mistakes. How are you going to fix them? And you never got anything. Like, he was always like, oh, it's something we're going to work on. We had to work on it. We just got to work on it. Everything's a process. Everything's a process. And when it comes to the penalties, I think Ben Johnson's so out of answers. He's so lost. That's kind of what he's doing now too. He's like, hey guys, we keep pushing it and preaching it in practice. It's now up to the team captains to get this thing under control. Like, man, I hope that's not all that's happening in the building right now. Is Ben Johnson going into the locker room and going, all right, captains, make sure there's no penalties this week. Like, they should be practicing this stuff. They should be calling people out in practice. This has to stop. It has to stop.
They do. They throw
It absolutely has to stop. You guys, the Bears aren't going to win a ton of games if they have 11 penalties a game. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to win a lot of games if you're 11 penalties a game.
Speaking of penalties, guys, the conversation's got to go this way, but Theo Benedette is no better than the guy who was playing before him, man.
Yes, he is.
This is a
Yes, he is.
problem. It's a problem.
He's certainly better than Braxton.
You cannot think that we're going to spend the rest of this season with this guy at left tackle.
Who else you going to put there?
Darnell Wright.
That's not going to happen in season.
I hope it does. I really do.
So you're gonna make a strength.
Listen, I don't want to get into because I don't want you to feel like I know that you guys like him. I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking the kid personally. I'm critiquing what I saw on the field for the last 2 weeks when he's been a starter. It's not good. It's not good.
That's not terrible.
And he's not playing
making it worse than it is.
Well,
it's not,
Kyle,
it's not great. It's not
Kyle,
great.
which jump off the page pass rusher is beating this guy's ass?
What do you mean?
Who are the names that Theo Benedette is getting smoked by? Who are these people? They're not even quality edge rushers.
Yeah, well, Chase Young had a damn good game yesterday too. He's looked like he's just having a good season, man. Chase Young's just having a great season. He had a damn good game yesterday.
If he had a good game, it didn't really make an impact. But
Chase Young made a huge
Saints
impact.
got destroyed.
Well, I mean, dude, it's one player. I mean, look at someone with Myles Garrett had 5 sacks and they got their asses whooped. I mean, that's the one player.
So you're not concerned about Trey Hendrickson lining up across from Theo Benedette?
What I'm saying is Benedette is the best they got, and this is I told you guys this before the season. I wanted left tackle in the draft. Now you're going to have to mask the deficiencies of the offensive line. I said,
yeah, no, he's not worse than Jones. I'll retract that statement.
Left tackle, this is going to bother you all.
But he's bad.
Season. And the Bears and Ben Johnson, guys, decided that Colson Loveland was more important than a guy like Josh Simmons. That's the decision they made in the draft. They decided that a tight end was more important than a left tackle, and now they are suffering the consequences. They made their bed; they're going to have to lay in it. Now, listen. Do I think that Theo Benedette is the future of the Chicago Bears left tackle? No, absolutely not. But I can tell you this: he's much better than Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones was guilty of 17 pressures in 3 weeks. Theo Benedette's been guilty of 6 and 2. He's not even close to the amount of pressures that Braxton Jones was giving up. Now, listen, maybe Braxton Jones was still dealing with that injury, but the first 3-4 games of this season, Braxton Jones looked worse than he ever did in the 3 years prior playing for the Chicago Bears. I don't know what's going on. He just doesn't look the steam, but he did not look good. And Theo Benedette looks better.
There's no way, no. Kyle, there's just no way if you're a head coach, you can approach this as this is the answer. This is your quarterback's health. This is not like well, if he struggles throughout the year, we're just going to have to make up for it. No, the guy who you want to lean on for success will die.
Well, Brennan,
so like you got to find a solution that's better than the one you got.
Well, Brennan, but they've been doing it for the last 15 years. Who's the last Bears good left tackle?
Well, a lot of quarterbacks in the last 15 years got hurt.
I mean, the Bears have been doing this for 15 years.
Justin Fields couldn't finish the season for this very reason.
Listen, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you that Theo Benedette is not the answer left tackle. I just think right now that's your best option. I said in the off.
I don't. I disagree. That's where we disagree.
Brennan, so do you disagree with Ben Johnson then? Because Ben Johnson thought Darnell Wright should be moved to left. He moved him to left. He's the coach. He's the head coach of the Chicago Bears. If he thought that was the solution, he would make the move.
I do think he's considering it. I 100% do. They're putting Trapillo. I don't know if you guys notice, but Trapillo's been playing the swing for the last 2 weeks while Benedette's been playing at left. And they're getting Trapillo ready to play.
Then Brennan,
came in as a pass catcher this week.
You guys, then trust in Ben. If Ben thinks that is the right move, but not right now, then trust the process. Maybe Ben is waiting for something.
Who's the other offensive lineman that got 2 penalties that kept coming in? 62. No, not 62.
That's Dolman.
65.
62 definitely got.
Or was it? I don't know.
Theo Benedette came in as a pass catcher on the line.
No other offensive linemen were on the field for the Bears outside of Trapillo and Benedette and Dolman, and there was nobody else out there.
I thought I saw somebody
Newman did not play. Newman's their immediate backup. He didn't play.
I think he's their backup center and guard. No,
he's their backup guard. Their backup center is
Bates still.
Yeah, Ryan Bates. Yeah.
So
neither of those guys played on the field.
So it's Newman. Yeah, really.
Listen, you guys.
That replacement will get made real quick.
Scott, I just want to get to some of these chats, the chat here real quick.
Yeah.
Scott says they knew left tackle was an issue and did nothing about it. It's all in management. Scott, you know that Sean and I talked about this all offseason. I thought for sure they were going left tackle in the first round. It absolutely blew my mind when they did. Blew my mind when they drafted Colston Loveland. As you all know, guys, he was my would-be most disappointing pick, was Colston Loveland months before the draft, and they ended up drafting him. It seems like it's now kind of biting him in the ass a little bit. I agree with you guys that Darnell Wright would probably be a better left tackle on the field by that. But if there's a reason that right now that Ben Johnson believes that's not the right move, like Sean said, then all of a sudden you're making a right side a strength, a weakness. Maybe that's why he's not doing it. I trust Ben. I think if Ben thought to himself, man, if I move Darnell Wright to left tackle and Ozzie Trapilo came in and played right tackle, the transition would be seamless. We'd be a much better team. I think that move would have been made. I don't think you don't think that, then Ben's an idiot, right?
There's no way it's going to be seamless, and nothing. And Ben Johnson has said himself, anything easy isn't worth doing. It's not going to be seamless. It might produce results.
Well, you guys, nothing. The left tackle position this year is not going to be seamless. We've talked about this so many times. It's the point where it's probably getting a little old for people here. But like you guys, they had the chance to draft a left tackle at number 10 overall. Sean Hips on 4-Star Chicago Sports here pushed Josh Simmons more than I've heard Josh Simmons come out of Sean's mouth more than anybody I've ever met my entire life. And I talk to people about football and draft and all constantly every day in the Bears. That guy is now one of the best left tackles of football. And here we are as Bears fans on 4-Star Chicago Sports, 8 weeks of the season, and we're talking about the Bears left tackle. They did this to themselves. Colston Loveland has had minimal impact on the Chicago Bears. If Josh Simmons would have been drafted by the Bears, he would have had a major impact on this team already. Not a question. He would have been one of the most important players on the Chicago Bears to this point in the season. And here we are talking about left tackle again, and Colston Loveland has 8 catches for 100 yards on the season. They did this to themselves. We talked about this in the offseason. That was a strange pick to be at number 10 to take a tight end. I'm not even saying, even if they had taken Tyler Warren, who seems to be a much better player than Colston Loveland, I would still say I would rather have had a left tackle.
I would have rather had a left tackle or a star linebacker, to be perfectly honest. And the only reason I was really high on Tyler Warren was because all the arrows reporting to the Bears drafting a tight end. And I figure, hey, if you're going to draft a tight end, take the generational talent. It shouldn't be that hard. Because here, again, we're talking about the draft, and outside of our 7th round draft pick, give me somebody in this draft that's making an impact on this football team. Go look at the rest of our division. Go look at their draft picks. They're making impacts on their football team, and they're also playing regularly. Yeah, so what the fuck is going on?
I agree.
You're drafting terrible talent that can't even get on the field. Ruben Hippolyte, who I was told, give him time. Fucking healthy scratch. Our 4th round pick, for the love of Christ. The draft was terrible. And I guess if we wait 3 years, maybe it'll develop. But other teams are developing them right now, and they're playing and contributing. It's just confusing.
It wasn't, Sean. And you know what's crazy, Sean, is if you ask all the draft,
I think the rookies just aren't being used.
The Bears got a very good grade, but yeah,
my argument's never changed.
And you can't help Sean. You can't help Shamar Turner being hurt. I guess you could draft somebody who's hurt, but the fact that he's hurt again, that's just bad luck. It's just bad. He never had a torn ACL or MCL in his career. All of a sudden now he's out with torn ACL. But you're right, Sean. The Bears should be at the point where their drafts, especially for a team that's not like they're not the Eagles. We're not so loaded with talent that you just can't fit any of these rookies in anywhere because they're taking an all-stars job somewhere. These guys should be making an impact. You're 100%
even the
correct.
Eagles,
and they're not, and it's concerning. It is 100% concerning.
Well,
but
and
this draft goes on the whole team. This goes on Ben Johnson. This goes on Dennis Allen. This goes on Ryan Poles.
I think you guys are overreacting a little bit. I'm still not ready to say this is a bad draft. I think I'm ready to say Ben Johnson is failing at using these guys. Ben Johnson is failing at installing. He's failing at installing these players into his offense. He's failing. Luther Burden should be on the field more than Zacchaeus. We're 7 weeks into
they're
the
both
season.
hurt, so you don't have to worry about either of them.
We should be at a point where we're starting to see the rookie replace the less talented guy.
I agree.
We should be there now, and we're not. And Ben Johnson has clearly shown, and I stated this on the bare minimum, guys, this will be his approach. It's not going to change. He's going to slow roll. He's going to slow roll these guys for the rest of the season. You're not going to see anybody get a giant jump and snap
Well,
count.
I'll say this. If you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown's career, his rookie year was with Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson did not really use him in the first 8 weeks. And the second half of the season, he doubled his production. He had no touchdowns and like 300 yards. I think the second half of the season, he had 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. So I wouldn't count Luther Burden out yet.
But that does reflect that Ben Johnson kind of
Well, and
does
you
this.
guys, Ruben
yeah,
Hippolyte,
It's
Ruben
a
Hippolyte being
slow
healthy
approach.
scratch.
I don't like it, Sean. I don't.
Ruben
I think
Hippolyte
it's
being healthy scratch is also not to say he's going to be a great linebacker, but that's also a terrible move by the coaching staff because Sean, like you just
he
said,
should be dressed.
you just said, Jackson got a penalty on that punt that should have been done with 1 yard line. Hippolyte, his last game on the Bears, had like 5 special team tackles. Like, how does he get bumped for this Jackson guy that we signed 3 weeks into the season who couldn't even make a football team?
You don't develop when you're a healthy scratch. I don't like.
Yeah.
But Sean, I also think that
let's just say this.
The approach is something we can
to begin with.
The approach is something
in the 4th round.
we can knock Ben Johnson. I think guys, Ben Johnson does so many things that we can't really evaluate. We can't give an opinion on. We can't say it works or it doesn't because you have to see it for the long haul.
Sure.
I think now you can say Ben Johnson has fucking goofed it with these rookies, man. He has done a bad job. He is not installing these guys. I thought after the bye week you were going to see this huge Luther Burden and Colston Lovin package where the guys were on the field together, and it was like there was this DJ Moore, Romadunze, and then you pull those guys out, and these two guys, and they're like making an impact, and they're like killing it, and they're getting added in fantasy leagues, and they played the 33 to 39 snaps per game. I mean, the guy's not doing anything to increase their production.
To be fair, though,
Loveland playing?
Loveland had 5 targets.
Well, he played a lot because Komet was out. He had to.
He did have a productive day, but again,
I thought he played well.
This is why I beg you guys. I beg you guys, go watch the all 22s of this film. You're gonna watch Colston Loveland not get separation, dude. I'm telling you, watch this all 22. It's 10 minutes. You're gonna sit there and be like, "Holy fuck." Nobody in this fucking receiving core can get away from a defender. No one comes back to the ball. Kyle, I pointed this out to you watching football. I was like, dude, you see how that dude came back and helped this fucking quarterback? I don't remember who it was.
It was Tyler Warren, bro. It was Tyler Warren.
It wasn't Tyler Warren? I was like, you see how he came back and helped his quarterback when his quarterback was in trouble? Give me a Bears receiver that does that. It's like they're programmed to, this is the route I have to run. I can't break off it. I have to stay on this route. That's not coaching. That's IQ. You have to come back and help your quarterback. You see the good ones do this. And this is my problem again with Roman Dunze in this top 10.
Dude, high schoolers do that.
Yeah, break off your route. Come back. Help your quarterback, dude.
Okay, but again, I gotta say this, man. I think there's a difference in not having talented players versus it's the coach's job to scheme players open. It's his job.
And they did a good job with
Ben
that.
Johnson's biggest draw, the thing I heard the most about Ben Johnson over Mike Vrabel, who's looking like a real good fucking coach right now, the biggest thing that I heard was this guy schemes people open. He gets people open all the time.
Let's hold on, everybody. Let's not go from the first 6-7 weeks of the season. The Bears start 4-2, and we're praising Ben Johnson. Did they lose one game, and we're like, man, this guy sucks. Like Ben Johnson.
Well, no, but you're talking about a problem with separation. That sounds
Mike
like
Mike Vrabel has had 5
sounds
years.
like a scheming issue.
Mike Vrabel has had 5 years to be a good coach in the NFL, and he had some bad seasons. Ben Johnson's on game 7.
Okay, so I don't want to dive.
Everything is a learning process. Yeah, everything. Coaches have to learn just like players do, just like GMs do, just like everybody else. It's a learning process. And Ben Johnson is the first to come out in a presser and say, that wasn't a good play call, Lemmy. That wasn't a good play call. And the more he gets used to the NFL, and the more he gets used to this roster and the personnel, the more he'll adjust his play calling. Like, for instance, I don't think you'll ever see Caleb Williams run a QB sneak ever again for the rest of his existence. Ever again. I don't think you will ever see that again. In the history of Caleb Williams' career, as long as Ben Johnson's here, I don't think you'll ever see Caleb Williams. It's just something you have to learn, right? He's tried it 5-6 times now. Caleb loses yards on every single one of them. He's probably like, you know what? This play is just not made for Caleb Williams. This isn't Jalen Hurts. This isn't the Eagles' offensive line. We can't do this. We are not physically capable of doing this. And he'll probably eliminate that play from his playbook. It's all learning process, guys.
Who's CJ? James, I'm not sure who. He says,
I think he meant to put
CW.
CW, yeah.
Yeah, there's another thing with it. Here's another problem with Caleb Williams, guys, is the scheme, like let's talk about Mikey's talking about scheme. The scheme that Ben Johnson runs, guys, is all about timing. You snap the ball, you throw the ball.
Yeah, but
You
he's
snap
done
the
some
ball,
dumb shit.
you throw the ball.
He's
You
done
snap
some
the
dumb
ball,
shit.
you throw the ball. If Caleb misses those timing throws, those lead the receiver on throws, those slant routes, if he misses those, the whole play falls apart. This scheme is all about look how fast Jared Goff gets the ball out of his hand. That system was implemented by Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams is not getting the ball out of his hand quickly. He's not. I think Caleb Williams sometimes is a little bit hesitant to make throws. And another problem with Caleb Williams is, let's face it, guys, and this is not to pick on him, but he's short. Jared Goff's not. Jared Goff can see over an offensive line. Caleb Williams sometimes has trouble seeing over offensive, defensive linemen. He can't see when a guy's open on his route. And people can say, "Oh, that's a cop out." Well, then why does Caleb Williams have 9 batted down passes through 7 games this year? He's short. He's not a tall quarterback. He's not. So the Bears are going to have to make adjustments and work around this stuff. This is all a learning process for everybody. And listen, Mikey, I'm not giving Ben excuse. And I don't think Ben is giving himself excuse because, like I said, if you watch his pressers, he's the first guy to call himself out. He calls himself out every single post-game press conference, every single one. He's like, that wasn't good play calling by me. But
there's always something to call yourself out for.
Yeah, and I think, but I think by next year, he'll be much more comfortable with what this team can do and what they can't do. I think it's all a learning process. He didn't play with Caleb Williams. He played with Jared Goff, and the longer he was with Jared Goff, the more he utilized Jared Goff's strengths, the better the offense got. Right now, he's in the adolescent stages of learning how to run an offense with Caleb Williams, and it's going to take time to learn. This is part of the process.
He also had Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jabbar Gibbs.
Yeah, and you know what, Sean? Like you said, Sean, it took him what? It took him 10 weeks to learn how to use Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Maybe Ben's learning how to learn Rome Odunze and DJ. He's never coached DJ Moore before. He's never coached Rome Odunze before. He's never coached Luther Burden before, Zacchaeus before, Loveland before, Komet before. He's learning what these guys can and can't do. Like if you guys notice, Cole Komet is starting to find his purpose in his offense. He's a blocker first, but he can occasionally sneak out and catch a pass. I think that's what they like Cole Komet in that role. I think they like him in that role.
It took Jared Goff, who was a veteran quarterback in this league, a little while to learn Ben's up. Jared Goff's first 6-7 games with Ben Johnson did not look good. On paper, it's not good.
We're on game 7 here with Caleb, so let's just give it some time. Here, I'll be perfect.
No, we are, guys. Can we, Sean? Sorry, go ahead. I want to talk a little more in detail about Austin Booker.
I really like this by Melon Special. What Sylvie said, ESPN 1000 and a good take. He said Caleb was like a pitcher struggling to find the strike zone, fastball that sometimes can't find the strike zone, overthrown high and outside strike zone, and dirt balls. I agree. And you know what? I think Caleb's, as I said at the top of the show, they broke him down. Cadence, footwork, everything that a quarterback has. They said, hey, we're taking all this armor off of you and we're going to build new armor onto you. And he's still learning as well. And he's struggling while he learns. But that doesn't mean he's never going to get it because you've seen flashes. You've seen the arm talent. You've seen the ability. The hero ball still comes out because that's what he goes back to while they're stripping him down and trying to rebuild him. And he gets further away from that.
I like what Justin said last week. It's like taming the wild horse, right? The horse the horse that's the most unruly is the horse that when you tame him is the best horse, right?
The horse that's hardest. The best horse is the hardest to break.
Yes, that's what they're going through right now.
Another thing, guys, that I don't think most Bears fans give credit to. I mean, Ben Johnson is not just giving Caleb what he gave him week 1, and that's what we're rolling with. Like Ben Johnson has
Scottish
installed. Ben
Johnson has Tooney is solely the reason for batted down balls, man. Joe Tooney is one of the best guards in the NFL and has been for 10 years. Caleb needs to change the trajectory of football, man.
Has installed more of the offense as the season has gone on. So this is not only
he actually did it.
You can watch it. We're watching new things. There's things that they're doing. Like, listen, guys, the 2 runs in the first quarter. What the hell was that? You guys know what I'm talking about? Where he had 2 players line up in front of Caleb, and then they crossed each other, but they ended up just handing it to Swift anyways from behind, and everybody just got in everybody's fucking way.
I think they didn't know the play.
It was like, what the hell was that? But that was new. That was new. That was new play installment.
From what Ben said,
he's never going to do it again.
Well, what Ben said coming out of the bye is we looked at the 4 weeks. We took out what wasn't working. We shortened the playbook and condensed it to what is going to work and be comfortable. So if he's adding more stuff in 2 weeks later, that's a different story. But
Well,
he
yeah,
did say
no,
that.
Sean. So let's say Caleb's struggling with, I don't know, whatever, any specific type of offense. Okay, he's struggling in that
Play
area.
action. That's where he
Play action,
struggles with
right?
play
But
action.
he's
That's where
playing
struggles.
right, play action. But he's playing really well with a moving pocket or an RPO. I think what Ben's saying is like we're going to do more of that. The thing that he's doing well, but you are still installing more of that, right? So if RPO is the thing that Caleb's doing well, you're like, okay, we're going to draw up more RPO. Caleb will be constantly learning every week things from this offense. I assure you of that, guys. It is not the same playbook that it was on week one. It's not. It's not going to be. If Caleb's doing things well and efficiently, then Ben's still going to throw stuff at him. Like, let's see if we can pull this off, man. Like the flea flicker. I mean, that was something that you wouldn't have seen Ben call week one because he wasn't comfortable doing that with Caleb. But Caleb looked obviously against that Dallas team, things were working, and he trusted and he felt confident that Caleb could make that pass, and he did. And he's going to keep throwing things at him and test the waters too. So it's not just new from the off season; it's new every week. Caleb is always going to be learning in this
Yeah, and
offense,
you guys, these
and it's tough. It's tough
fans,
to do.
football fans generally, sports fans generally have a week-to-week thought process, right? Like, it's like, oh, you win a game. Like, Sean, did you get the quote I sent you from Jim McMahon?
Yeah.
Like, you have 1 week where everybody's going to cheer you on and love you, and the next week they want to bench you out. Like, this is the NFL. This is what football fans are. Like, for instance, Kyle's saying draft, sit, develop. I'm assuming Kyle's referring to Jordan Love's good game last night. But did you guys watch Jordan Love against the Arizona Cardinals, who are one of the worst teams in football? I mean, this
Well,
is
no,
just
I'm with
this
Kyle.
is
That has
football.
proven to be an
This is
effective
football.
system.
Yeah, but you guys, that's not what the
Yeah.
NFL is now. You're
not what
not,
people
you're not
do
paying a
anymore
guy
'cause
an
the money.
$18 million bonus.
Yeah,
and
no,
sitting
the
him
money.
on it. It's
The
done.
money's too
That shit
much.
is-
You
that
can't.
ship has sailed, guys. That's gone.
Kyle,
You're
I'm
not
with you
gonna throw out
100%.
quarterbacks sit on the bench.
Kyle Harris
Not
makes a
gonna
good
happen.
point, and that it
Yeah.
was effective, but
And-
you are correct. You can't do it anymore.
And these teams
or
think
you're
they can
getting
win
fired
and these
as
teams
a
think they can
GM.
win a Super Bowl with a rookie on
Well, they
a
tried it with
quarterback on a rookie
Jackson Dart.
deal. And now look, for instance, Green
Yeah,
Bay.
they'll see that the
They already
five,
paid
6 games.
Green Bay
You'll
already
see
paid
that.
Jordan Love, and now they pay Micah Parsons. So now they're going to have to be very frugal in other parts of the team, and that might prevent them from winning a Super Bowl.
Hold on,
That's
this
why
is a great point.
these teams want to win a Super Bowl with a quarterback on a rookie contract, and they want to get these guys going as fast as they possibly can. Now, look, for guys like Drake, people are saying that the Patriots are in the Super Bowl conversation. He's a
Drake
second-year
Mason,
quarterback.
he's
He's
sat on the
a
bench,
second-year
though.
quarterback.
He did sit
For
on the
what?
bench.
For what? 6 weeks, Brennan?
Yeah.
like
who
8. I
cares?
don't know, but
Justin
he did.
Fields sat on the bench for 6 weeks, man. That doesn't mean anything. Drake May's just a good
I
quarterback.
think it does prove to be effective, man. I think it does.
I'll be
But Sean, to your point, because we're kind of opening our eyes to something here, like between Jackson Dart this year and like Kyle just alluded to last year, it was a very short stint on the bench for Drake May, but all the same, I think teams are still trying. I think that's how important it is, Kyle. I think teams, as much as we just talked about the contract, and you have 4 years to do it, and you better fucking do it, or you're getting fired. Everybody is. We know that. So like, you're so much pressure for your quarterback to succeed. You want him to be in the playoffs and possibly aiming for a Super Bowl by his second, third year of his career. But I think teams are like, we still want him to sit on the bench a little bit because Drake May and Jackson Dart both had 5, 6 weeks on the bench.
I think if the NFL had it their way, every single player they drafted would sit on the bench for you. It's just
Right.
not
I
how
think
the
it's still an
NFL works.
effective thing to do. I think Kyle's right. But to Kyle Harris, you can't. You just can't.
Yeah,
You can put a guy on the bench for
I gotta
4
say-
weeks, 5 weeks. You can't put a guy on the bench
and
for
you
a
guys
year.
notice a lot of the quarterbacks who are playing well in the NFL, Sean, we talked about this yesterday at your house, are guys who are like, oh, this guy played in college for 7 years due to COVID. He just played 7,558 snaps. Oh, no shit. That guy's further ahead in the development process than Caleb Williams? No way. Jaden Daniels, who played in college for 6 years, knows more about football than Caleb Williams? No way. That's mind-blowing. Yeah, no shit.
He threw like 1,400 pass attempts.
But you will, and Kyle, that's a wonderful point because when you look at these guys and take out Drake May, but when you look at some of these guys like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, both of these guys, Bo Nix was in college for 5 or 6 years as well.
Yeah,
so
I think they said Jaden Daniels' rookie year, he played a college game against Tremaine Edmonds, who's been in the NFL for like 8 years. Like that's how long Jaden Daniels played college football for.
And I want to say this, James, I don't think I honestly, and I swear to God, go watch the All 22 from the Saints and then go watch the All 22 from the Ravens. I think he played better against the Ravens than he played against the Saints when you watch the film.
Yeah, but the
Caleb, he
Bears
did.
didn't take the ball away
Yeah, he
6
did.
times.
He
That's the
absolutely did.
difference.
Yes,
The Bears
he played
didn't
a
take
lot
the ball
better
away 6
yesterday.
times.
Guys, the difference in this football team and the problem with this football team, outside of Caleb not, and you guys, the ball is not in the right place. Even when he's making completions, the ball's not in the right place. So yes, the accuracy thing I said earlier, that's not it is definitely a problem because he's never hitting a receiver in a place where the receiver can continue the play, and that's a problem too. So, but outside of the accuracy, and then we talked earlier, Sean, that I think that his timing is just ass. I think Caleb's really,
And I
really.
think that'll get better. I think
think
that's
he's-
something he can improve.
I think
No,
he's really.
no, special. Nobody's talking about their ages.
But-
I'm not talking about their age. I'm talking
but-
about how long they've played football at a considered like collegiate is considered pretty much professional now because they're running NFL offenses. How long Gene Daniels played football at a professional level compared to Caleb Williams? He's got like 3 years on him, man. Go look at the
I
snaps.
I do agree with Sean. I thought that he did play a better game
He
against the
did,
Ravens.
dude. Caleb, I looked at
No,
Sean.
but-
I looked at
but-
Sean. I looked at Sean at
but-
third quarter. I said, Sean, look at
but-
Caleb's numbers. They're not that bad.
Yeah, but I don't
They're
know
not that
who it
bad.
is, guys. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's just the player, and I don't think it's just the coach. The red zone thing is what's killing this fucking football team. You could have been up
Here,
14-0 in that football game in the first 2 drives.
You should have.
You gotta get the fucking ball in the end zone.
One of those two, but at the same time, I think the biggest thing that hurt Caleb yesterday was abandoning the run game. When they abandoned that run game, they were averaging 4.5 yards a carry, and they were like, well, we're not going to do this anymore. That's why I said I think Ben Johnson had his worst game. Whether it was,
Yeah, I don't want Caleb throwing
I agree
38
with
times.
you, Brandon, in this aspect. If DeAndre Swift was hurt and the run game was being effective, because I think when after those first 2 drives, I think the Bears were averaging, I think it was 4.3 yards per carry. So if that was the case and DeAndre Swift shouldn't have go, maybe you could have given the ball to Monangai to see if he could continue that to help take some pressure off of Caleb Williams. I think going away from the run game in the first half was absolutely shot the Bears in the face. And that's just my personal opinion.
Caleb Williams averages 235 yards a game because he throws between 22 and 29 passes a game. He threw 38. He almost threw 300 yards in this game because you asked him to throw 40 times. I agree with you, Sean. The balance, Ben Johnson's thing is balance. And I'm not saying like, oh, people told me he's a balance. No, like he's done that. I've looked through his seasons as an offensive coordinator. It's run pass almost 50-50. I mean, the guy is like, I'm a fucking magician. He has literally been almost split down the middle every season he's called plays. So to see the 38 passes to 23 rushes, that's just not Ben Johnson, man. It's not. And not when your run game was actually, when DeAndre Swift was actually running for a high yard per carry. It wasn't like it was 1 yard after 1 yard after 1 yard where it's like, okay, we've got Caleb's just going to have to win this game. I didn't feel like there was ever a point where Caleb needed to win the game, and they were almost playing that way anyways. And that's just not Ben Johnson football. I mean, the Kyle said it. When they run the offense through DeAndre Swift, it's looked phenomenal. And I mean, guys, when they ran the offense, when the offense looked phenomenal in Detroit, who'd they run it through?
They run it through Gibbs and Monty.
Yes. That is when Ben Johnson's offense looks
guys,
its
there's no
best.
doubt that the Bears look their best when they run the offense through DeAndre Swift, but he's hurt. He's got a groin
Hey,
injury.
and really quick, James, 2023, if I'm not mistaken, 2023 was the year that USC, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but USC's roster was atrocious.
Yeah, they didn't have a
zero
single NFLer.
They had no.
They had one NFLer. They had
No,
one
they-
who got drafted in the
I'm
7th
not
round.
gonna
It was
hold
because of his name.
Hit or something like that.
Yeah,
Because
The
of his
only other
name,
player-
Jerry
Yeah,
Rice's
who was it?
kid.
Yeah,
Jerry
Rice's
Rice's kid.
son in the 7th round.
Brendan Rice.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Jane Daniels was throwing to Malik Neighbors and
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. And he's like, his completion percentage is really good. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Yeah, he was throwing to Jerry Rice and Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. He was really good that year. Like,
He
no
was
way.
throwing-
Devin Duvernay.
I'm sure he was great. Yeah.
Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels both won Heisman Awards throwing to pro receivers.
Yeah,
LSU had like
both
10
of those
NFLers.
guys.
LSU had like 10 NFLers. Jane Daniels.
Well, yeah,
team
they're
had like 10
secondary.
NFLers.
Their secondary
Mike,
always
that
has
is
one guy
100%
plugged.
fact, sir.
Yeah, and listen, Caleb was playing hero ball, so he's throwing the ball downfield more often than Jane Daniel was. Jane Daniels is in a more
That's true flex.
it was in an offense with more structure, so he was dumping the ball off more often. Yeah, so
And
obviously
ran a lot.
it's going to be
Jim
higher.
Daniels was a run guy.
I mean, you guys, I'm not disagreeing with all you guys. I mean, if Caleb Williams continues to take what the defense gives him and dump the ball off more often, then his completion percentage is going to go up because, like I said, on the interception, he could have dumped the ball off to Kyle Monangai, and that would have been
He
another
should have dumped the ball
interception. But yeah,
And here, guys, let's
things
take
he
a
has
look at
to
that.
this things he has to learn, and obviously they're going to take longer than we thought they were going to take.
Let's
That's
take
it.
a look at that really quick, boys.
And he doesn't.
One guy stays in there. Second down and long. Fake the handoff from his own end zone. Williams has time. Downfield. Intercept.
Just
God,
overlooks it.
Monangai, that would have been like a 30-yard
That's what
play.
I'm saying. Take what the defense
Yeah,
gives
Sean, you and
bro.
I saw that live, and I was like, "Oh, Monangai, he's there."
Well,
He would have
and
There's nobody there.
And it's tough to even be
Hero
critical.
ball, man, hero ball.
It's tough to even be critical of Caleb for mistakes like those because he really just doesn't make them. I mean, this guy has turned the
Yeah, it
ball
was
over.
really just
For being like a Bears fan base where we're talking about a guy where we're very much criticizing Caleb, deservedly so, but you're looking at all the quarterbacks we've watched in this organization that have failed, and the thing that they all did consistently, guys. Every fucking one of them, even the good ones like Jay Cutler, the thing they all did all the time was turn the ball over. Rex Grossman turned the ball over. Jay Cutler turned the ball. I mean, whoever it was, the game was given more than a few seasons on this Bears team threw interceptions like it was going out of style.
Hey,
And
uh,
Caleb
really-
Williams
what
has
Melon,
been
what,
really
three?
good.
What Melon
Hey,
special? 3?
really quick, guys. Flex says people need to admit Swift's our best weapon. Everything should start from there. Erica, the defense gave up 30 points to backup quarterback. Yeah, I think the defense played a little bit better than
Melon
that.
Smasher,
Yeah.
do me a favor. You always
Yeah, whoa, wait.
Guy. Give me
The
give me
defense-
Caleb Williams wide receivers in 2023 in the chat here, and then give me Jaden Daniels wide receivers in 2023 in the chat.
Yeah.
Give me
That
their
Caleb-
offensive linemen. Give me all 5 offensive linemen in the chat for both quarterbacks. You're
That-
Mr. Statistic guy. You can.
Oh
pull this
yeah,
up
by
in
the
5
way,
seconds.
by the
Go
way,
get those names
Jaden
for me, bud.
Jaden Daniels' left tackle was also Will Campbell.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'm
But-
aware. I know.
but,
I want to see if Melon Smasher knows.
but goddamn, where was I just
hold on
going
really
with that?
quick. Caleb had a nice pocket and time to throw when he threw that pick. Had Monangai wide open. Yeah.
Oh no,
absolutely.
the defense allowed
Um,
30 points my ass though, man. Caleb gave that interception ended up in like the 2-yard line.
Yeah. It wasn't
Derrick Henry at the 2-yard line. You might as well
I
just
thought the
say, hey,
defense-
give him 6
Well,
points.
you know what, guys, and the defense
For all
played
the
very well.
deficiencies.
They played very well against Derrick Henry. Outside of those 2 1-yard touchdowns, and guys, there's not many teams in the NFL
Here.
stopping Derrick Henry from getting a
That's
1
what I'm
yard
saying.
touchdown.
I'll say
That's
this.
just 6 points.
I say this, and I wrote this into a text to you guys earlier because I was a little critical of John Harbaugh, but more so not regular season, postseason. John Harbaugh has some questions that need to be answered. But what he did yesterday, now Keaton Mitchell had such a big effect on this game for only getting 4 carries, but every single one
40
of those
yards.
carries was
He's just too fast.
explosive. Now you go boom, 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 running up the middle, Derrick Henry. Then you get this pitch out to Keaton Mitchell, and the Bears' head was on a swivel. No one even knew where this guy was going.
They didn't have the speed for Keaton Mitchell.
I mean,
First of all, they were tired. Second of
it
all,
was masterful game planning or game
dude.
calling by John Harbaugh.
You guys,
Like,
it was
it was a
You know,
game,
you know who
You guys,
you know
it
who
was-
could
it
have
was
been
clean
helpful
football, by
against
the
a guy
way.
like that?
it was clean.
Ruben
Clean game.
Hippolyte might have been
Yeah.
beneficial.
That was a
But
clean
I'll
game.
say that. Well, first off, man, good God, that kid is fast. Even
he
after,
is really fast.
even after a knee
Yeah,
tear.
dude, if he didn't blow
Even
out his
after a
ACL
knee
every 3
tear.
days, he would be a really good player. In the NFL.
But I will say this, Sean. When Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson are in the field, they set the edge. These guys
Sure.
out there, I don't expect these guys out there to
Here,
be stopping Mitchell on plays like this.
basically what I'm saying is John Harbaugh found a way to exploit the Bears' weaknesses, and he did
Yeah,
a masterful job
absolutely.
doing it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and
John
you know
Harbaugh
what?
kicked the
Dwayne
crap
says
out
He
of
just
Ben
took the
Johnson.
cap to the other coach.
Dwayne says he was dumbass fast. That says,
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
he
just
tore-
they lost
and that
Baltimore,
kid-
their
that
plays,
kid
many
tore
mistakes,
his-
penalties, lack of football IQ, run out of bounds, DJ and Caleb. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's too many
100%.
mental mistakes. Last we had talked about this all show.
That kid tore his
Penalties,
knee, man.
the intentional groundings, the
wait, wait,
interception,
wait.
not running out of bounds. If the Bears want to win games, they're just not a good enough roster right now to win. If they continue,
guys
to make
know
them better.
Dwayne?
They need to get better and they
No.
need to play more fundamentally sound football. What?
Dwayne,
Dwayne's been here for a long time, guys.
Yeah,
Is he?
Yeah, very long time, guys.
all
Very
right.
long time.
I'm not getting,
Well,
I
you
gotta get used to all
you
these
get
new
one
names.
anyways.
because everyone has
Yeah,
a
Dwayne,
number.
Dwayne, you're the man.
associated
You get the high five anyway because you're the man. But yeah,
The
Dwayne's
applause, not the high five.
yeah, you guys.
No, the Bears,
It's
and even 24 points should have been enough to win that football game, Erica, because you have to convert inside the red zone. The Bears should have been up 14-0. They had 128
That would
yards
be the
from
difference.
three
That would
in
be
the
the
first
difference.
quarter. The first quarter, the Bears should have KO'd this football team, and they were just unable to put the
yeah, and then you guys, then they took points off the board with the intentional grounding and pushing themselves out of field goal range. Then the end of the game, they couldn't get the ball in the end zone at the 1 yard line with 3 different tries because of bad play calling by Ben Johnson. It was just these.
Hey, the Bucks had that problem yesterday too. Though.
Then they
Yeah, but
and then they
Sean,
put
the
and then
Bucks are missing 5 of 5 offensive linemen. That's not.
and then they
that's not fair.
chose they opted to put that guy back in that can't kick a ball 50 yards. They made that choice to
Santos?
they chose to
What
put
did
that
I
guy
say?
back on
What
the
did I say,
fucking
Sean?
field.
Sean, when they
Are
got
you
that,
out of your
when
mind?
they brought them out of the field to kick that field goal, what did I say to you? I said, I bet you Ben Johnson's hoping I bet you Ben Johnson was wishing Jake Moody's on the team right now because he ain't kicking a 60-yard field goal. I can tell you.
What did I say? What did I say, Kyle, when he was going to kick it? I looked at you and said, "It's going to be about 5 yards short." And what was it? It was about 5 yards short.
it was.
We agreed on what the result was going to be.
But
it's just not Santos.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around this, guys. You picked up and I gave Poles his flowers for this. You went and picked up a guy who was drafted in the 3rd round to kick and lost his Super Bowl and failed time and time again and let this fan base and his team down. I felt so bad for this guy, but at the same time was like, you suck. You get this guy. This new change of scenery, change of setting, change of team. He said, like when I stepped in here, it just felt more like. He said this felt more like a winning culture than back in San Fran. Think about that. But you get this guy. He kicks 9 field goals in two games. One of them wins a game, and he kicked multiple 50-plus yarders. And the only one he missed was a block. Now, I will say, to his credit, the block was his fault. That's the way it was reported. Is he just had a really low trajectory on that kick? It was his fault. But 8 for 9 for a 3rd round pick that was discarded by another team, and he won a game. And you go back to the guy who in week 1,
dude, him getting cut by the Niners was the Bryce Young treatment. He just needed a fire under his ass.
Yep. And then you go back to the guy from week 1 who all you had to do at the end of the game to reserve your timeout was kick the fucking ball out of the back of the end zone, and the guy couldn't even get the ball in the end zone.
Burning, you mean the same guy that missed a field goal in that game, and that's why the Bears were down by 3 in the first place? I
don't understand this. I don't understand it.
I think I talked about more than anybody. They had a guy in the building named Jonathan Kim, who I thought was like he had a much stronger leg than Cairo Santos, and the Bears decided to stick with Santos because they already paid him all that money. But how many times have I talked about this, guys? Cairo Santos is literally taking points off the board. After the game was over, Sean and I are watching the 3:15 games, and it's 60-yard field goal, 58-yard field goal. So everybody gets a field goal, and I'm like, we can't score any. We couldn't do any of this shit. And then Sean started getting the conversation of how much
today's NFL
60-yarders should be worth in fantasy. I'm like, dude, we're never going to see the Bears kick a 60-yard field goal, so we don't have to worry about that shit. That's not going to happen. But yeah, you're getting to a point in time right now in 2025 where you guys, almost all of these guys can kick 60-yard field goals. So why are we so behind the 8 ball? If the times are changing, change with them.
Yeah, no, you're I mean, just think about it, man. Think about the opportunity you're leaving off the field. Like every time you're in that range where you're a 55 to 60 yarder, you have to punt the ball, where other almost 32 out of 32, probably 27 other football teams are like, oh, just put them out there, let's get a field goal. So like that, you can't accept to have such a disadvantage. That's why this blew my mind. You made a choice to put a guy back on your field that, yes, has been very accurate. Okay, somebody in the chat said he's been a stout professional. Sure.
I don't have anything personally
wrong. I don't dislike Santos. I actually like the guy a lot.
He can't kick far, guys. In today's NFL,
you got to kick far.
In the preseason,
the
Jaguars
hanging out with your friends. It's a business.
In the preseason, the Jaguars field goal kicker made a 70-yard field goal. Okay, so
dude, the guy from Dallas could make an 80-yard field goal if we got the chance.
We can't have guys who can't make 55-yard field goals, man. I mean, you can't. You are choosing to be at a disadvantage over every other football team in the league. It doesn't make sense. I like Cairo Santos. He's a good guy. It's got to stop. That's got to change. But I really want to talk, guys, about Austin Booker.
Hey, really quick, didn't Moody bang a couple 50-yarders versus the Saints?
Yes, multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Well, I don't know if you missed the game, Shannon, but he looked pretty good, and he won a game for us. So
Sean, I want to go back to Laz's comment here real quick, guys, because this
yeah,
one,
I really like that
we
comment.
need to stop putting all the blame on Caleb Williams on the QB sneak.
Mike
The interior of
me
this
the weird-
O-line. I mean, and they came out. If you guys watched the Drew Dalman presser, he said we need to be more physical at the 1 yard line, at the goal line. Yeah, like guys, why are the Bears the only team in the NFL where they put all of their money? The interior of the O-line and Joe Tooney, Drew Dalman, and Jonah Jackson, they just traded for, signed, extended all those guys, and they can't get a 1 yard push. You can't get a 1 yard push, guys. You can't give Caleb
they just get
fucking yard.
Line,
like, guys, it's like, listen, is Caleb looks kind of goofy when he doesn't. He certainly doesn't get low enough. But let's not put all the blame on Caleb Williams. The interior of that offensive line has not been good at 1 yard runs. They are not good. They're much better at the outside zone than they are the inside zone, and that's because of the lack of physicality. And you're not going to replace them. You just signed and paid all three of them. They need to become more physical. They need to play more physical. They need to be mean.
You know who was more physical?
And they're not doing that.
Luke Newman was a pretty physical guy. He was like blocking people into the fucking backfield, man. Like, honestly.
And Shannon, I don't think we're putting the blame on Santos for losing this game. I just think that I think we're going to be in other situations where we may lose a game because of Santos's leg.
And I agree. You guys, I agree with Scottish Bear. You guys, Scottish Bear here says right here, a lot of Santos statistics are false because when we get in the 50, we don't kick unless we're close. Exactly. The reason that Carlos Santos
doesn't miss because they don't give him the opportunity.
Is because they know he's incapable of kicking 55 yards, so they just won't let him do it. So he's not kicking those long field goals, which would obviously bring his percentage down. They're punting instead of kicking field goals. That's what we're saying, guys. Why punt instead of kick a 55-yard field goal when you can go get a guy like Aubrey or one of these other guys in the NFL who's kicking 60-yarders and just be like everybody else in the NFL and change with the times and give yourself every single benefit you possibly can on a football field and go get a kicker who can kick 60 yards.
And you know what?
I like Santos. He's a nice guy.
I'm going to say this. This is a bold statement, bold claim. I'm going to say it. You can say for sure. I agree. He did not lose that Ravens game. No way, shape, or form did his mishaps make that big of an impact on that game.
By 3.
The first game of the season, I think you could make an argument for the Vikings game, the season opener.
Santos lost that game.
That he kind of did. I think
he missed the field goal and he couldn't kick the ball in the back of the end.
You could argue it multiple ways, but I think you could make an argument in that way for sure. I mean, he made 2 grave mistakes.
No, I agree with Mike. Mike said it was a team loss. No aspect of that game.
100%.
Yeah, everybody deserves blame for the Ravens game.
And guys,
the entire team gets that shit, especially the backup secondary. They were a huge problem.
I'm with you too. Shannon's not wrong, man. This offense, I mean, the red zone no more field goals, guys. I don't want these guys I don't want any more field goals. I'm with you, Shannon.
I agree.
I don't want to see either one of them.
Worry about Carlos.
I don't want to see Santos. I don't want to see Santos. I don't want to see Moody. I don't want to see either one of those guys. I want to see the ball in the end zone.
Here, and again, like you're saying, kicker's not the problem. Stop it. Your whole team has to be good because I'll tell you this: the Cowboys
can't settle for
run their
less.
kicker out from the middle of the star, and they feel pretty confident about it. The Bears will not do that.
They'll run him out from further than that, man.
Yeah,
I think the Cowboys want to see him kick a 70-yarder. I think they want to see him kick a 70-yarder. I think they want to see.
I want to see him kick a 70-yarder.
So do I. I want to bet on it on FanDuel, and then he kicks a 70-yarder.
And this will be the last thing we say about the kicker because fuck the kicker. But the reason I brought it up and the reason that it's still really hard for me to accept, like to fathom that occurred when I saw Santos come back in that game. The reason why it's different, guys, it's not like you have Santos and then just a pool of free agents where you're like, okay, they probably have the best guy they can get. That's why those guys are fucking free agents. You brought Moody here, who was drafted high, and he looked like a guy that maybe should have been drafted pretty high. Like, what if Moody flipped a switch here in Chicago and became like the most reliable fucking kicker in the, like, why not see instead of choosing to go back to a less talented leg, why not see it until it stops? Kyle,
but the Bears still own him.
Do you let Moody?
That decision may not have been made yet.
Do you let Moody keep kicking until he blunders? I mean, don't you just let the guy keep going until it's like, okay, he missed a 29-yarder. It's the next week is it's Santos game.
It's like somebody said in the chat here. It's politics. Santos is getting paid his $30 million, whatever it is. It's
I mean,
politics.
so I'm looking
Moody's
at
got a hell of a leg, man. I don't know if you
I'm
guys like
looking
the
at
reason
him-
he was drafted third is because the guy can fucking kick.
I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his career stats. His career stats, he's 54, 71, 76.1%. His longest field goal is 57 yards. He's 97 of 99 in extra points made. He scored 259 points. He was only 70% of a field goal kicker last year for the 49ers over the course of.
And what was he here in 2 games? And we actually had him kick a lot. It's not like
He
he
was
had 1 or
perfect.
2 field
He was
goals.
perfect here for the Bears. I don't think
He was 8 of 9 with a block.
Oh yeah, the block. Yeah, I forgot about the block.
So he was at like what? I don't know. I don't know what it was definitely a better percentage than he was at in San Fran. I mean, he's at like 90% there. So I mean,
Well,
I just don't see why you
Here's the
choose
deal.
to go back to a guy with a less talented leg.
Here's the deal.
Why would you
Put
do
the
that?
ball in the fucking end zone, and we don't have to worry about this to begin with. Because
let's get back to the real point.
when Caleb
Bears need to start scoring touchdowns.
When we talk about Austin
was
Booker,
drafted, he walked up to Torrey Taylor and was like, "Yeah, we're not going to use you that much." Well, he's been fucking wrong.
I mean, you guys, you're talking about a team that got the best offensive coach available in the offseason. You're talking about a team that put well over $100 million in their offensive line in the offseason. And then the last 2 years, they have drafted a quarterback number 1, a wide receiver number 9, a tight end number 10, and another wide receiver in the early second round. And this team can't score touchdowns. And this team they can't score touchdowns. Like that's the problem. This is where the problem is. The Bears need to start scoring touchdowns. You know what? The Bears are bad, you guys. The Bears are bad when the defense starts to get compact. All the guys are all really close to each other.
Short field.
That's when Caleb gets really confused.
And guys, am I wrong? I said this earlier in the show. Nobody really responded to it. I really feel like Ben Johnson gets super conservative in the red zone when his whole niche is like he's an aggressive guy. He's aggressive. He's coming at you. When they get in the red zone, it's just a handoff to Swift up the. It's like, wait a second, man. You're the guy that's like you live and breathe by putting defenses on their heels, and now you're letting them attack you. I don't understand. Like you lose all the momentum that guys when they're going down the middle of the field. In those first 2 drives against Baltimore, they look really good. They look like a really fucking good football team. And when they get in the red zone, they just stop attacking. They take the foot off the gas and they're like, we'll just do what it takes to get there. Like, no, you had this team on their heels. They're falling over themselves. You're just moving the ball at will. Wherever you want to do, wherever you want to go, it's there. And then you get in the red zone and you're like, we're gonna make them feel like they have the advantage here. Like, I don't understand.
Bruce makes a really good point, guys.
I'll say this: with all the talent that's supposed to be here, with the talent that he had in Detroit last year, he was 68% in the red zone, and he was 4th in the NFL. I think as he continues to put his fingerprints on this team, I think he will get better at it. I don't think that if you have a Gibbs, you're getting in the end zone. You have a Monty, you're getting in the end zone. I don't feel like that's a strength of DeAndre Swift to be in those small, compact areas when the line is compressed. That's just not something that he does, unless you're giving him a halfback toss or you're running a curl route.
Sean. That's my point. Is you have these guys, these play callers, man, who like Dennis Allen, right? We talk a lot about the lack of pass rush. We always say the same thing. Dennis Allen's going to have to do. He's going to have to find a way. He's going to have to get creative. Don't we always say that? Dennis Allen's got to get creative. Ben Johnson needs to do something different. He needs to get the red zone plays. It's just vanilla, and it's not working.
Start with the foundation, guys. The first thing.
Get Colston Loveland.
Bruce is 100% correct.
Hold on, scheme Colston Loveland open in the red zone.
Vernon, but you're getting ahead of yourself here. Like, address this comment first. How about before we worried about anything, Colston Loveland, DeAndre Swift impact, how about we stop the false starts and stop giving yourself 8 more yards to get into the end zone? That would be the first step of having a successful red zone.
And
stop giving yourself more work.
We talked about this. I obviously know that Ben Johnson does lack trust in Caleb Williams because he has some of the fewest, or he's like, I don't remember where he was. You guys told me he's not very high on the list of pass attempts in the red zone. and the Bears have been there quite a
He
bit.
said it in his presser today. I like running the ball in the red zone. He said it in his
Well,
presser.
here and
this
at the
morning.
same time,
I like
Joe,
running the ball in the red zone.
Joe, and I don't know.
Yeah,
have
but
you
you
ever
had,
seen-
but you had
have you ever-
Gibbs.
Is this Bizzo Joe? Is this Bizzo Joe with a new name? I think it
21st
is
in
Bizzo
attempts.
Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
clearly
gotta-
there's some trust issues
Well,
there.
in Joe, in Bizzo Joe, I just want to ask you if
Thanks,
he had this
Dustin.
criticism in Detroit. Detroit's red zone efficiency under under Ben Johnson was top 5 in the NFL. I don't understand where all this criticism in the red zone comes from. Last year, he ranked 4th with Detroit in red zone efficiency. I mean, you're top 5 in the league. I don't know how much criticism you can honestly be getting. Like someone
No,
wrote
they-
that
they-
article, and I'm
they
like,
did
"This is
say-
Sean, he
they
wasn't
did-
first.
Jay and Hood did say this on
like,
Jay and Hood did say this on the score this morning, that he was
and again,
criticized by his fan
here,
base for red zone.
And again, I just looked it up. I just Googled it. Detroit Lions red zone efficiency in the last 3 years, they haven't finished out of the top 5. So I don't understand where all this criticism. If he's so terrible, how's Detroit top 5 in the last 3 years under Ben Johnson in the freaking red zone? I'm just asking questions.
I know he was second in 2023.
There you go. He's
Yeah,
terrible in the red zone.
you guys, let me tell you something right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
but
long
he's.
Ben
He's. I mean,
Hold on,
Sean,
Brandon,
I agree
hold
with you,
on.
but like,
Let me
it's
tell
not
you-
working here.
Jesus.
Not
I don't know.
yet.
I don't know how long he's going to be here, guys. But if Ben Johnson is top 5 in the NFL for the next 15 years in the NFL, you will never hear me complain once ever about our red zone problems in any way, shape, or form. Real quick, guys. Flex Diggs is building off Bruce's point here. Concentration is a big problem.
Yeah.
He's talking about the penalties. Yeah, I mean, you guys, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, Dustin always talks about how Caleb Williams makes the game harder for himself. The Bears make the game harder for themselves. The
Yeah.
Bears make the game harder for themselves. Now, listen, some of these penalties, we all agree that some of these are the NFLs are not doing a good job, or the referees are not doing a good job here. But the false starts, those you can't make those up. The refs can't make those up. That's the Bears' fault. The pre-snap penalties are the Bears' fault.
And lining up in the wrong spot.
Yeah, that's the
multiple
Bears'
times.
fault. That's concentration
I mean,
problems. That's what that is. Yeah, AJP says run Roshan Johnson in the red zone. Yeah, problem. AJP is Roshan Johnson would have to be on the field in order for you to run. He's been hurt basically
I'll tell you
the
this.
last 2 years.
Roshan-
Yeah, he was
Roshan
out.
Johnson's
He was out of this
inside the 5. So if
Hey guys, he's hurt. He's hurt. He was hurt. He was hurt
If
the
he
first
gets
3
back.
games of this season. He's hurt this last game. He was hurt at the end of last year. That's why he's wearing the concussion helmet now. Roshan Johnson just can't stay healthy, guys. I think the Bears probably would start to trickle Roshan in more and more if the healthier he gets, but that's not going to it's just not happening. He's just not staying healthy. And then Jazz says, I thought Monken was more creative than Ben Johnson yesterday. Where's creativity? Yeah, Monken had a great game. And you know what? Jazz, I don't know, Laz, I don't know if you looked at his presser, Ben Johnson's presser, but he called Monken out by name and said he had a great game yesterday by his name. Ben Johnson.
You want to know?
He did.
You want to know? You want to know?
He
what's
did.
funny
He
going
made-
into the
he
game?
made Tyler
Monken was
Huntley
getting a
so
lot of
comfortable.
criticism. So
You guys, we knew that this Ravens team was going to play in desperation mode. We knew it. And Ben Johnson wanted to say desperate, but he didn't. He said they were hungry and they were driven, but he wanted to say they were desperate for a win. We knew they were going to come out and play almost perfect game. The only way the Bears were going to beat them is the Bears didn't make a ton of mistakes. And what did the Bears do? They made a ton of mistakes. And that's why they lost the football game. If you don't turn the ball over, if you don't force turnovers, and you make a bunch of mistakes, you're not going to win many football games. You can't have 11 penalties and force 0 turnovers and win against good teams in the NFL.
and
It's
I do
not going to
believe-
happen.
I
That
do
was the
believe-
downfall of the Bears yesterday.
And we started this or stated this earlier, but do believe this is the 4th game this year. The Bears were double digits in penalties. They have 74 penalties in 7 games. It was evenly split yesterday, just
over
about
10 a game is atrocious.
They're averaging. I think it came out to 7.85 penalties per game or something like that.
Well, you said they've played 7 games. You said they had
Yeah,
74.
they said this morning. I heard this on the radio on
They've
the Bears.
played 10 games. They have 74 penalties.
I'm just
They're
telling
averaging
you
over
the
10
average was.
penalties a game.
They said, "Here,
Maybe was that
72 penalties? 72 penalties.
was that
through-
does that include
penalties a
does
game.
that include the penalties that were declined?
Ooh, that I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
They just
The
said
penalties.
72
Yeah, it's
penalties.
probably under
for
10 a
7
game, but
weeks.
still, to have that many penalties through 7 games is not acceptable.
No, you got to clean that up. And here's the thing: it's not one phase. You had 4 on offense, 4 on defense, 3 on special teams.
no, everybody
It's
is
like
guilty.
even across the
Sean, how many?
So
Sean,
do
how
you
many?
fix this?
Sean, how many players did you say have been guilty of a penalty? This year?
36.
That's not
36.
acceptable. That guys, that's more than 50% of your roster. Get the fuck out of here. And then Relentless Mikey says, or maybe Colston catches the fucking ball. Yeah, that drop from Colston Lovin was heartbreaking because that felt like this was supposed to be his game where he steps up and is like, this is why I was the 10th pick in the draft. Flexstick says Caleb was chucking the ball around first couple of drives between the 20s, then his ass tightened up in the red zone. Yeah, I think that's due to play calling. We all heard Brendan, you got Brendan's in here twice.
I got kicked out, man.
Hey, you're frozen here, bro. Your other screen is frozen here. Phil says, what do we talk about in the preseason? Bears need to get away from stupid penalties. Guess what? They didn't listen. Yeah, so far to this point of the season, guys, that is one of the major storylines for the Chicago Bears. They cannot get out of their own way. They cannot get out of their
Hold
own
on
way.
really quick. Dustin Jones this morning, Dan Wiederer on the Bears report on the score was where I got that from.
Yeah, no,
72
I think you
penalties.
guys are both right. I think, Sean, 72 penalties is what they've been called for. Dustin, I think 64 is what the other team has accepted. I think you guys are both 100% right.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is what I got from the Bears report this morning because I found that very interesting.
Oh, we got up next. Mountain Special updated us on the Monday night game. He says Mariota, Mahomes trading interceptions.
Hey, hope Mahomes throws 10 interceptions tonight. That's the only way I'm going to win.
Yeah, that's surprising because Mahomes has actually been really good this year, guys. I think he should be. If the season ends today, I think Mahomes is probably your.
And you know what? Here, I really wanted to touch on this, Laz, and I'm really glad that you said this because I said this yesterday in a text in our group text, in our 4 Stars group text.
Sean, I agree with you, but that's not going to happen.
No,
I agree with you.
I said this next week. You talk about culture change. You talk about the way this organization is supposed to be making all these strides. Next week, whether you win or lose, how you play that football game, spirited, hard fought, you lose 24-21 in a tough ball game, you've answered the call.
Hey,
This is a culture changing, deciding moment for the Chicago Bears against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road next week. How do you react?
Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Sean. I thought you were talking about. You said Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP. I agree with you.
Well, I agree with that too. But no, how the Bears react to this loss, I just think this is the culture. This is where they are. I wasn't going to take the Bears to win this game. This is where just might.
This is where Ben Johnson separates himself from that other fools. How do you respond, guys? How do you respond? Obviously, I think the Bears are nothing but disappointed in themselves for the performance against Baltimore. They have to be. But if you come out and respond well and you win this game, or maybe even lose this game in overtime or on a late field goal, and you still look like you belong in the NFL and you're competing with good teams. I mean, the talent on the Cincinnati Bengals, I know the Bengals have a bad record, guys, but the talent over there is insane.
It's really good.
Unbelievable.
Looks like
people were saying
$50 million worth of receivers.
Yeah, people were saying Chase Brown sucks. That guy, the last 2 games, does not look like he sucks in any way. Did you guys see Chase Brown save Joe Flacco's life?
Chase Brown, guys, I wanted to say to all of you, listen,
it was a pitch play. He was supposed to pitch it back, the flea flicker, and he was like, "I'm not throwing back the bat back
when
to Joe.
He took it,
he's gonna die. He's gonna be killed." And he just ran it.
Like, the awareness on that play was
very smart, high IQ play.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 weeks, there's only 2 running backs with more rushing yards than Chase Brown.
Yeah, I wanted to say to you guys, you know me, I love Chase Brown because I'm an Illinois guy, and the season he had at Illinois before he got drafted was incredible. And I was like, man, somebody's going to steal on this kid in the draft. But he needed a quarterback, man. Yes, the Joe Burrow game was bad. He played a bad game, and then I think Joe Burrow got injured in the second one, right? I'm pretty sure he is. And Chase Brown was bad with Browning on the field. I knew when Flacco played, he would start to have an impact on that offense, and he is going to in this game against the Bears, man. He is a guy you have to worry about, no matter how.
I will say this: it was reported earlier that Flacco's injured in day-to-day with a shoulder injury. So maybe we don't see Joe Flacco and we catch another one of those Brandon breaks.
Yeah, maybe he'll be. Maybe he'll be.
What are you doing?
Maybe he'll be sitting at a restaurant by himself.
What do you do on Thursday nights, Mikey? Maybe you can make a guest appearance on the bare minimum with Brandon and Dustin over there. He said he wishes he was on the show so bad. He wishes he's on the panel so bad. Maybe you can make a guest appearance, Mikey. You guys, Dustin says the Bears responded to giving up 52 points on the road. Obviously, talking about Detroit by winning 4 in a row. I think the culture has already changed. This team isn't going to fold. I agree with you. I expect the Bears to come out on fire. Vernon, Mikey says he'd be happy to join you on Thursday if ever you need him. Dwayne says
you can this week if you'd like, but it's late.
Yeah, Mikey, it's
although I could do it earlier.
You got to move it up.
yeah. What time can you do it, Brennan?
Probably like 8.
No, that's not that late. I'm sure Mikey could make that work. Yeah, Dwayne says you got to watch Flacco. I remember when he played with the Broncos. Yeah, Flacco's better than people give him credit for, Dwayne. If you let him sit back in that pocket and you don't pressure him at all, he will absolutely tear the Bears to pieces. And all he has to do is get the ball in the hands of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
And
And
Chase
they'll
Brown.
Three pressures.
they'll do. Brennan, Mikey says he's good for 8.
Sounds good, Mikey. I'll be in touch, man. I'll
Yeah,
contact you. And Chase Brown too, Kyle. That was the thing. Is like if you have a competent quarterback on that football team, Chase Brown should be utilized most in the passing game. That's who he is. That's who he was in Illinois. This guy's a receiver playing the halfback position. He can run the ball effectively because he's kind of elusive and he's small. He gets lost behind the line, but he's most effective when he's catching the football. And Joe Flacco figured it out pretty quick. Like, wow, I can really save my own ass a lot if I just dump the ball off to this guy because I'm not getting hit.
That's
you know
right,
what I mean?
He says
That's
Joe
right.
Flacco.
But Kyle, you're right. You just give the ball to Chase. That's what you do. Did you hear what he said? What Joe Flacco said after the first game he played with him? He was like, I don't understand how. He's like, all you got to do is just pass this guy the ball. When they went out there together, they went out there and sat with the panel together. And like, all you got to do is Joe Flacco's like, I don't understand why anybody else struggle. Like, all you got to do is just pass this guy the ball every play.
Guys, I can make an argument that in recent years, Joe Flacco has had times where he looks better in his 40s than he ever did. When he
I agree.
Yeah, that stretch on
I
the
don't
Browns. I don't
remember Joe
playoffs.
Flacco was like a 300-yard, 3-touchdown guy in Baltimore, and then he played on the Browns that year, like Bernie, like you're talking about. He looked amazing, and then his second game on the Bengals, he threw like 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. Like I don't remember that Joe Flacco on the Ravens. I remember.
No,
that. And Dustin says everyone remembers when Joe Flacco played for their team. Obviously, making a joke that Joe Flacco has played for.
Well, and what's funny, Kyle, is when he went to the Colts, where Daniel Jones is thriving, he was terrible.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco wasn't good on the
He
Colts.
has to play in the AFC North. He has to.
That's the thing.
That's his thing, dude.
Steelers next.
He's got to cross the Steelers off. I mean, dude, if you play for the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, you got to play for the Steelers. Just one game. Just go over there for one game.
Hey, in light of
let me carry the ball for this yard.
In light of the phantom hold in the Minnesota game and the awful interception or DPI on Stevenson, the gifted touchdown to the Lions at the end of the first half, the Odunze touchdown erased, Loveland's OPI, the false start on Olave's touchdown, and then the no call on Hopkins.
Sean dug up all those shitty ass calls.
Yeah. Because I have a question. In light, and I was reading something today. I don't remember where I saw this, but in light of, I mean, number one, they have to open an investigation of what the fuck's going on against the Chicago Bears. I started
Sean, in the NFL in general, in the NFL in general.
Number two,
in the NFL in general.
Number two, because I'm going to throw this up really quick because we all saw it. So let's all live it together. We all saw it, but
the best hands in the NFL, top of the route, maybe a little push there, little hand in the face mask. But
do you guys think
a little hand on the face mask? He kicked him. Outside of that, it was a pretty good play.
But let me ask you this: do you think, in the light of the NBA investigation that's going on with the gambling and all this other crap, DraftKings, FanDuel.
Oh, we're not doing this, are we?
No. All the money that was placed on that spread earlier in the week played a factor in that non-call because guess what happened with that non-call? A lot of bettors won their fucking money.
No, honestly, guys, I do think politics are involved, though, and I'm not going to deep dive into this, but I don't know about the gambling problem, Sean. I'm sure there's a little bit of that going on somewhere. I'm sure somebody in the NFL is making money off gambling, and they'll hopefully somebody will find it. Every league, there's probably someone making money off gambling that they should not be doing. But I do think that the Bears have refused to indulge in the BLM stuff and the gay pride stuff. I mean, they are conservative Republican owners in the Caskies. I do think they do have a little. They do butt heads with the NFL a little bit. I think a little bit they do. I don't know if that changes the officiating. I don't know if that changes the officiating, but I do think that they butt heads with Roger Goodell on more occasions than not.
I think the NFL.
Well, yes.
I think the NFL does not love the
Mikey.
McCasties.
That's a really good one because Kyle and I talked about this watching that game. That fucking crown of the helmet to Zacchaeus' face, that should have been a penalty too that they just
they're looking at the play over and over and over again. They're like, did Zacchaeus fumble this? Did he catch this? Was this not one person in the box was like, well, first of all, the crown of the helmet to the face was that probably
to a defenseless receiver.
Like, dude, that was one of the worst hits I've seen this season. He literally used the point of the crown of his helmet and stuck it right in Zacchaeus' face. And the way Zacchaeus' head bounced back, there's no way a ref didn't see that. The way his head snapped.
I was laughing after Sean played that play because I did like that's the first time I've seen that play, the DeAndre Hopkins play since the game. I didn't even realize that because if somebody's leading your head with you have to follow wherever they're directing you. And he literally throws him. Watch Nahshon Wright after the hold.
Yeah,
he throws his body off the field.
He stumbled. Sure. He changes his direction. No doubt about it.
And if you're Nahshon Wright, you can't try to turn away from that because then you're risking fuck that.
Like when
wherever you're pulling me, I'm going. I'm not going to try to spin my head.
When the Bears write a complaint to the NFL about that play, the NFL is not going to come back and be like, we didn't see anything that justified offensive pass rate. They're going to say we missed it. That's what they're going to say.
They have no choice.
We missed it. We missed one.
And for as bad as the Bears game was, that play
it was bad. It was and like I said,
fucking game because they were off the field. The Bears offense was coming.
I agree, Mikey. I agree, Mikey.
You
don't pay these guys part-time. They already make enough money, but you can't consider them part-time. You need to start making them full-time.
No, we looked this up last Tuesday at River Street, Kyle, when we were there. The NFL officials make $205,000 to $250,000 a year.
They make a lot of money.
It's not chump change, dude.
Sean, we also talked about this. You guys, maybe being more consistent on the rules would help them as well. Like you can't change the rules every single year. That's not good for the sport.
The penalties at the line of scrimmage, especially if they're not pre-snap, are much harder for these. There's a hold on every play, right? Don't we always say that? There's a hold on every play.
Really?
Someone in the trenches is holding somebody on every play.
100%.
You're lost in this pile of people. The refs can't see it all. There's too much hands moving in too many places. A play like that, this is why I stood strong on this when I said it earlier in the show. Like, that was so wide. There was nothing around that play. The official had a direct line of vision to the two players. If not watching the players' hands, what else are you watching on that play?
Right.
I mean, at that juncture, you need to be watching the hands. That's it. Like now the player has possession. The receiver has possession. He's now turning against. It's like, what are you doing, man? I don't understand. And it does feel like the Bears, like the Colston Loveland stuff, right? The two offensive pass interferences on Colston Loveland. I don't know. Some people have said those were for sure penalties. Some people have said it was a little. I thought that was a little tacky. To me, it was a little touchy. Colston Loveland kind of like half extends his arm on the first one, the first game that he got the penalty on. And the second one, Kyle, you pointed it out. I think you shared a picture in the text, or somebody did.
Sean did. Yeah, he didn't move.
He doesn't even touch him. He doesn't physically contact the player, and he gets a penalty. And then they miss a play like that.
Yeah, he knew where he was putting himself. He knew he was going to get in the way, but he didn't move. He didn't initiate the contact. The definition of the rule is if the offensive player initiates
setting a pick.
1, 2, 3.
Come out, and we're going to hit number 28 right there. And I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Like I said, you guys, if Moose Johnston is saying something good about the Bears, like, I don't know, that didn't look like a penalty to me. You know it's not a penalty because I don't think Moose Johnston likes the Bears. And then Relentless Becky says those were weak compared to the roughing the passer on Caleb. Yeah, and how about the fact that every time we touch a quarterback's helmet, we get a roughing the passer, and then Caleb gets absolutely destroyed, and they're like, no, that's a football play right there. Like, come on, guys.
Caleb's not.
If you're gonna call it, call it consistently, guys. Call it consistently. Laz says Wright should have fell down. So many of these guys act or flop when they get the calls. Yeah, right. That's. Maybe he'll learn from that, Laz, but that's a good point. Maybe next time Nahshon Wright, when he sticks his hand in his helmet, should just fall over.
Yeah.
Whoa. We call it the LeBron James.
Yeah, I was going to just say that. He took the words right out of it.
Yeah, because we saw on Sunday, we saw in that Bears game that penalties can be persuaded. I thought the call on Joe Tooney, guys, was just a player pointing at Joe Tooney. I thought like a defender got up and was like, right here, and the ref was like, it's right there. And I was like, wait, they show the replay and Joe Tooney's like stiff as a board. Like, I don't, where does, I don't understand. And it was like, I think one of the broadcasters said a little bit of, I think there was a little bit of persuasion on that because the entire defense started just pointing at the Bears line, and they picked the guy who has no penalties. Did you know that? They picked the guy on the line to throw the flag at that has not committed a penalty all season. So,
All
like,
right, guys, let's do
I
our
don't buy it.
let's do our conclusions on this
Hey,
game.
and really quick,
Let's let these
Mike,
guys watch some football.
yeah, I'm thinking about December 7th, setting that up. I just got to check on some things. Next River Street, it's a noon game. Unfortunately, unless the Bears get a night game against Green Bay at home on December 20th, which is right before Christmas, which is going to be difficult. And then Detroit right after the New Year's, which is going to be difficult. I'm going to try and set it up I'm going to try and set something up for December 7th, but we'll let you guys know here shortly. And I really wanted to get this before we get out of here. I really wanted to put this up so everyone can just kind of relax because I don't think Caleb is having that bad of a season. 12th in passing yards, 13th in passing yards per game, 6th in yards per completion, 16th in pass EPA, 24th in completion percentage. That needs to definitely go up. 18th in QBR, we'd like that to go up. 20th in passer rating, obviously would like that to go up. 12th in passing yards, tied for 19th in passing touchdowns, tied for 51st. And
Sean, why'd you put pass yards on there twice?
did I?
The first one says 12th in pass yards.
Oh,
and then
oops.
it's 1,636.
Yeah,
pass
Sean,
yards.
let's just call you out publicly while it's
Sean's really into these passing yards.
Whoops. My bad.
Let's not forget the pass.
Put that back up. I want to talk more about Sean's mishap. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
We never got to have the Austin Booker conversation, guys. I think this is important to have real quick for Bears fans because I don't think anybody's aware of this. So, as alert,
Walk.
Austin Booker needs to be brought up on this roster like tomorrow, or
He's already brought up. He's already
did?
He was already assigned to the roster.
they did.
He is
Okay,
off of
'cause
IR.
They were pushing it, and I want to say this, man. Ben Johnson's response to that was the most disappointing thing Ben Johnson said. I said it's the most Bearsy thing that this coaching staff. He said Austin Booker was not brought to the active roster when he started practicing after the IR because we were really happy with the guys we had up as an on the active roster.
Oh my God.
That's not acceptable, man. I mean, these guys we've seen these guys we've seen Dominique Robinson for fucking 5 years, man.
Sean, you may get your wish. Mahomes just threw his second pick with less than a quarter.
Oh, I need 10 interceptions to pull this one out.
For those guys who don't know, Sean and I are in a fantasy matchup right now. And I have
So are me and Sean. Sean and I
Mahomes.
are in a fantasy matchup as well, and he persuaded me to start the wrong guy, so I lost. No, just kidding, Sean.
Yeah,
He's like, hey, throw Sterling Shepard. Don't have Roman Wilson in there. Throw Sterling Shepard in there. Roman Wilson goes off.
Sean went into the day up 20 in half-point PPR, and I have Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. And cumulatively right now, they have 4 points.
Am I up 24 points then? Oh, no, because the -4, you got 4 points back, so it's back to 0. It's still
Mahomes also has 2 rushes for 20 yards.
Ah.
He has 50 yards passing. Corey Krosky-Merritt has 20 yards rushing. Rashee Rice has 2 catches for 10 yards. So, I mean, I still have some points.
I'm not going to win this one. It's okay. I'll be 3-1 in fantasy this week. I'll take it.
I agree with you, man. I said to Sean this morning. I looked like Shamar Turner. He looked like he was becoming an NFL football player. He
was
like
flashing.
It was starting to impact the game a little bit, and for him to lose the rest of the season on a torn ACL is heartbreaking for him, and it's heartbreaking for Bears fans because it's not like the defensive line was the strength of this team going into the season. So the more of these guys that drop, the harder it's going to become for the Chicago Bears. Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, my takeaway from the Baltimore Ravens game is this. They played a game was desperate at home, backs against the wall, knew if they lost, they were out. The Bears had to play a perfect game. They played a very clean game. The Bears had 11 penalties. They didn't force any turnovers. That's why the Bears lost the game. But, yeah, Caleb Williams, definitely in the future, he needs to start playing better for sure.
Yeah, for me, I'm just going to say, man, progress isn't linear. We've talked about this. We're seeing it play out in real time with Caleb Williams. Patience is part of being a Bears fan now, guys. Just keep that. The rebuild wasn't going to be linear either. So, the pieces are starting to get here. We still need to add some pieces. We knew this was going to be a bumpy ride going both ways, up, down. We're going to have some Dallas Cowboys days. We're going to have some Baltimore Ravens days. But let's enjoy it while it's here, because one day I think the roller coaster is just going to keep going up, and it'll be a long time before it drops off. Don't give up the faith. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks take time to develop. One being my favorite
All of them.
entire NFL,
All of them.
Josh Allen. You know,
It's
Peyton
Josh
Manning.
Allen.
Peyton
to
Manning,
keep-
Geno
something to-
Smith, Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Something
yeah, and you want to know what? I'm going to throw this up there, because for all those who are worried, here's Josh Allen and Caleb Williams in their second years, guys. So don't give up the faith. Don't give up the hope. It's still getting close. It's still close. And remember, let's not be Buffalo, because it's Buffalo's second year. You can Google this. They were like, get this guy out of here. He sucks. He's terrible. We don't want Josh Allen. They ain't saying that shit now.
I want to say, keep your eyes on this moving forward, guys. The reason I brought up Austin Booker, I put him on the thumbnail, I thought it was important to talk about, is this Bears team was doing something at a high rate when they were getting those turnovers. They were getting pressure on the quarterback. They didn't do so against Tyler Huntley. He's a backup quarterback. He would have turned the ball over otherwise. So I think with the injuries you've sustained, I don't know what's going on with Javon Dexter. I know that Shamar Turner's done. I know that Dominic Robinson's probably done. I mean, you have
No. Robinson's got a high ankle sprain.
Oh, is 4 weeks?
No, he's not. He's 4 weeks. Yeah.
So you have got. Well, it doesn't matter. So you have got to get some pass rush on a guy who cannot move. Joe Flacco.
I have a strong feeling if the Bears trade for Brees Hall, Jermaine Johnson will probably be in some way, shape, or form. They'll find a way to get Jermaine Johnson included in that trade, because he's not going to pay the whole ton either. So
really quick,
they need somebody, guys. They need somebody. They're running out of
defense. Don't get pass
line.
rush. You won't take the ball away like you have been. It's important.
I'm going to answer Laz's question, and it won't keep us here too long. I believe this is it. Let me take a look. It's not the one. I believe it's this.
Timeouts remaining. They need 7 and 3, so they're currently in field goal range.
This is why, and this thing.
Yeah, you got to catch that ball, man.
Yeah, my answer.
That was a great throw. I mean, I know it was.
Yeah, it was a really great throw. And here, the great ones, the Jeffersons, the Chases, the Browns, they make those grabs. They keep drives alive. They flip the field. I do believe Roman's capable of that.
He's the number one on this team.
Listen, he needs to get more consistent. And I don't believe, and I never will believe, Rome is a true number one in the NFL. I believe he needs a true number one on the other side, which I do believe Luther Burden can be. And I said it last week, and I'll say it again. Coming in, I don't know if that number changed, but coming into this week, he was 114th in wide receiver separation. That's abysmal. That's abysmal for a top 10 pick. And a guy who came in with a contested catch rate as the best contested catch receiver in college cannot do it in the NFL. I'm not saying he can't improve, but as it sits right now, my answer is no. Brandon's could be different, and I respect that opinion too. I don't believe Roma Dunze is a true number one wide receiver on a football team.
Well,
That's just my personal opinion.
You know what's crazy about Roma Dunze? He's so big, you guys, but he looks small. Like what? He's almost the same height as Nico Collins. When you look at Nico Collins, he looks like a giant. You look at
what's funny to me about Roma
Dunze?
What's funny to me about Roma Dunze, and I don't think it affects his ability to play the position, but like he's the sloppiest runner, man. There is no smoothness to his.
He's very clumsy. Looks clumsy.
It just looks like it's out of control, like he's losing his balance. But Sean,
I don't hate him.
Sean, I think Rome just barely scratched the surface of what he's going to do.
I hope so.
And he has 5 touchdowns,
to get
and he just had a 100-yard game.
Naturally, right?
I mean, this guy is not the Roma Dunze you're going to watch in a year from now, and he's already making a pretty big impact on this football team. He's leading the team in touchdowns, and he's having 100-yard days on the game where Caleb can't get to the ball to anyone else. He is kind of Caleb's insurance policy. I think it's been important. I think him and Caleb have grown together in their relationship on the field. But I do think Rome is still a fraction. What we've seen from Roma Dunze is a fraction of what he will be.
I hope so.
I believe it.
I hope so. I do. I'm not rooting against the kid.
I think
want
Marvin
Burden
Harrison
to the next decade.
I think Marvin Harrison's going to progress into a better player.
I'm not giving up on Marvin Harrison Jr. either. There's 0.00%.
Receivers,
Well, you know what's gonna
receivers
happen
are
with
the
Marvin
same as quarterbacks. They're
You know what's gonna
rookies.
happen with
They're
Marvin
young.
Harrison Jr.? Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get traded for fourth round pick because Arizona is going to be tricked into believing that he's not a good player, and then he's going to get an actual quarterback, and they're going to be like, "We should have asked for a first round pick."
Goddamn right. Marvin Harrison's uber talented, dude. I mean, I watched the all 22s of the Cardinals too because I wanted to see it myself. That guy's open a lot. He doesn't get the ball.
I told you at halftime, the game I watched, the Thursday night game against the Packers, at halftime he had almost 6 yards of separation.
No, in the same argument, Sean, we just picked on Marvin Harrison's dropped some huge passes.
He had drop balls.
A lot.
He had
A lot more than Rome.
Huge
He's
passes.
had some problems with the
Passes that
drops.
could have been 100-yard touchdowns, and this guy has dropped them, and it threw his hand.
I agree with
He has to
that.
get better. They're all going to get better. Even
Here,
Mike
when it
Neighbors
comes
will
to
get
the
better.
Ohio
and Mike
State,
Neighbors is
when it comes to
amazing.
the Ohio State wide receivers in the NFL, he's probably down on the list, and he was supposed to be tops on the list.
You're supposed to be the
I
best.
can tell you that because I'm probably taking Olave over him. I'm definitely taking JSN over him. I'm probably going to take Scary Terry over him too.
Garrett Wilson.
I would right now. I take a lot of them over him, but that also I don't.
Mecca Egbuka.
Mecca Egbuka.
Yeah, he's definitely over him.
I mean, the NFL's pretty soon.
Egbuka looks like Egbuka looks like he's going to compete with Malik Neighbors for one of the best receivers.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? As good as Egbuka, I might take the kid that's currently on Ohio State.
Yeah, that kid
over all
looks
of the
like Tate.
people.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah,
Oh
over all the
or
people we
Tate.
just mentioned.
Or Tate. They both look amazing.
But
I'll take Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. Watch out for that fucking guy, man. That guy's a stud. Amon-Ra St. Brown type shit.
I think Rome's going to be fine though, man.
Guys, breaking news. Bruce says Patrick Mahomes joins Hall of Famer Peyton Manning is the only players ever with 40,000 plus passing yards in their first 9 seasons.
Well,
I can't believe Patrick Mahomes has been in the NFL for 9 years.
Did you see the record Did you see the record Myles Garrett broke?
No, I know he did something.
Sacks before you're 30.
Well, shame on 4-star Chicago
he
sports
just- he
for none of
just
us
beat-
picking Myles Garrett to be the defensive player of the year.
He just beat Reggie White.
I put him in my most honorable
He
mention.
had 5 sacks in that game.
Yeah, he's going to be the
5.
defensive player of the year.
Did you see him in his press conference? You hear what he said in his press conference?
Yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed.
I'll give everything back for a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. No, he said.
I'll give it all back for a win.
They said, what do you? How does it feel to have a performance like you did in a losing effort? He said, I would trade my entire performance
For
for
a
a
win.
win.
You know what though? It's his dumbass fault for staying in Cleveland. He should have stayed on the trade. He should have known Cleveland wasn't going to win. If he
He
ever
should
wanted
have come to
chase a
Chicago.
he would have never been in fucking Cleveland. He should have known that. Come on now. They gave away Baker Mayfield. They could have had a quarterback and the top defensive player in all of football. Cleveland's
and Mason Graham looks really good. Their secondary is good. I mean, they have a lot of talent outside of the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they have Quinshon Judkins, but the
Mason
receiving
Graham's
core
a
sucks.
monster.
Receiving core sucks.
Yeah, and
outside of that, if they had Baker Mayfield, the Browns would be a very good, dangerous team.
And Judkins got hurt this week, so I don't know what his status is, but the injury list this week
Well, they're on a bye. They're on a bye. So
they're on a bye.
Yeah,
everybody who got hurt is on a bye. Saquon Barkley got hurt, and they're on a bye. So we got to be careful picking up his backup. You got to be careful picking up.
No, not everybody, man. AJ Brown and Drake London on my fantasy team. They were hurt. They weren't on a bye. They are this week on Saturday.
They are this week.
I did catch Brandon on a great week.
Not Falcons, but yeah, the Browns or the Eagles. What's that, Sean?
I did catch him on a good week because if you had all your players, I probably would have lost.
Oh, I'm missing everyone. I've got like 3 of the guys I drafted, man. Everybody else is a Frankenstein.
Melon Smasher says Cardinal Tate is from Chicago.
Cardinal Tate is a stud too, man. Yeah, absolutely. The Buckeyes are going to put 3 more receivers from this year's squad into the NFL.
This receiving class is going to be outrageous.
All right, guys, we'll break that down in the offseason.
Yeah, just mark my words. Don't forget about Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, Bears got to bounce back against the Bengals. They got to bounce back against the Bengals. Can't let this snowball. Can't let it snowball. We talked about this before the Ravens game. If they lose this game, they can't let it turn into 3-4 losses in a row. The Bears need to bounce back against Cincinnati, at least make it a competitive football game.
And we're going to be here on Wednesday to break it all down. So make sure you join us Wednesday for the Barely There podcast.
And don't worry, guys.
On Thursday.
Yeah, the bare minimum is back.
And then just pay attention to the time because I think there's going to be a time and maybe a special guest, Mikey, on this one. We'll see if Mikey shows up, but we'll get it out to you. We have you on 4 Stars, Mikey. So just look for the link and link in and let us know if you have any problems. And before we get out of here, in honor of this Jayhawk, my boy, joining the roster.
Anything you want to get out there before you wrap up?
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, we gotta-
I hope he just wrecks shit.
Dude, it can one thing go right for
I
the
hope
Bears
he just
fans
wrecks
once in a,
shit.
Can he become like a 17
Yeah.
sack guy? Just
Can he
we
be
have
like
one
Micah
guy?
Parsons? We
We have
just didn't
one guy,
know.
or in the NFL's talking about this guy in 2 years, and they're like, "Did you guys know the Bears drafted him in the 5th round? Did you guys know that? This guy is the next Max Crosby. They drafted him in the 5th round. Like, can we have one of those? Ever?
And I will say
One?
this. I will say this for the first time, I think, all year, Micah Parsons was a game wrecker last night. He
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, but Micah, I'm going to send you a video, Sean. After
He
the
is
show.
a game wrecker.
I'm going to
man.
send you a video after the show. Micah Parsons gets held more than anybody in the NFL and doesn't get called for any of them. But
He
you know what?
is a, he is
you know
a
what?
monster.
I don't
man.
give a shit because the Packers
He's a
got every
monster.
single call in the history of football. And this
Yeah, right.
you know,
Hey, really quick,
I
before we
expected
get
him
out
to
of
beat
here.
the Steelers.
Hey, Shannon, Flex, AC Adam, Vizzo Joe,
Melon Smasher.
Relentless Mikey, Melon Smasher. Dude, you guys crushed it tonight. Ron, Erica,
Dwayne.
you guys were rocking the
Scott
chat.
Angel, our boy,
Scott
one of our
Angel.
personal friends,
Yep.
man.
Laz,
Backstage.
you were in
Mind
here.
free.
Scottish Bear, James Christo, Laz, Erica, you guys,
Thank
all
you
guys,
guys.
man.
Thank you
Fucking
guys.
love
We
you
love
guys,
you
man.
guys. We love you guys. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Go
Kyle
watch
Harris.
Monday Night Football, everybody.
Thanks,
Dwayne,
And don't
guys.
forget.
Dwayne's the man.
And don't forget, Blackhawks are on fire. They're on tomorrow, 7:45. Check them out.
Yeah, and
Bulls are 2-0.
the Bulls are still a team.
The Bulls are undefeated. The Bulls are
Yeah, they
undefeated,
are.
aren't they?
Without
they're
Kobe
2-0.
White. Without
2-0.
Without Kobe White. Oh my God, Chicago sports. You know what? We're always a good first of the month season. And then
Armageddon is coming. The
it's
Bears,
coming.
Bulls, and Blackhawks have winning records, guys. The world is about to end as we know it.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Peace
Hey,
and
you
bear
guys
down,
take care of
everybody. Keep
yourselves.
those heads up, man. Better days are
rapture.
ahead, I promise.
Take care of yourselves so you can take care of each other. Go Caleb Williams, Bears.
Bears. All right, let's see.